All right, Greg. Thank you, Ben. Pete Bursich, Paul Allen, Broncos Stadium at Mile High for the first preseason game. We're at US Bank Stadium a week from today. It is a noon kickoff against the Jacksonville Jaguars. There is Kirk Cousins. He will debut, at least in the preseason, for the Minnesota Vikings when the Vikings get the ball. You will notice everybody is at a standing start on the kick coverage team. It's part of the new kickoff rule plan, as veteran Kai Forbath, wearing his white jersey with purple pants trimmed in white and gold, is ready, and boom! The 2018 preseason is underway, and Forbath bangs it out of the end zone, kicking it over the head of Aurora, Colorado native Philip Lindsay. Walking onto the field for the Denver Broncos, well, Minnesota Vikings fans are very familiar with him, Peter. He is Case Keenum. 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions for the Minnesota Vikings last year. He was rock solid when they got inside the red zone. 17 touchdowns and 0 picks. The Vikings opt to go with Kirk Cousins. The Denver Broncos opt to roll with that guy, Case Keenum. For the Minnesota Vikings defense, they started in their base 4-3, and the 2018 preseason is underway. Keenum goes out of the shotgun, looks to the right, swings it out to the right to talented veteran Demaryius Thomas, and he shakes on Ben Gedeon for a gain of 5. The Minnesota Vikings are led by Mike Zimmer, entering his 5th year. He is a 2-time division champion with a regular season record of 39-25. The Broncos head right back to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 5. They head left to right as we see it from the Fox box at Broncos Stadium.
5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's Pete Morelli. Those of you who took in the Saturday night practice at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center may recognize him. He was the referee there that evening. Peter, we're playing Case Keenum.
And it's no surprise they come out with what, Paul? They come out with a no huddle. And that's one of the things that Case Keenum did so well for us. The other thing was his ability to scramble and extend plays. 2-back set here. I'm looking at a play action pass.
On 2nd and 10, I formation behind Case Keenum. Receivers left and right. Handoff. Devontae Booker runs right into a spot that normally would be occupied by Linval Joseph. But Linval is not playing this evening. It's not injury related. He's Linval Joseph, and it's the first preseason game. That's a gain of 3.
Well, Linval Joseph has been such just so important for the linebackers behind him. Their ability, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks, to move and to get to the ball, to get downhill. The guy, though, that I like is Jaleel Johnson, Paul. He's in his second season. He's getting a chance. He plugged it up in the middle on that last play. Did a nice job just holding the point.
Veteran Brian Robinson stands up to the left of new guy Sheldon Richardson on 3rd down. And Keenum, the former Viking, stands in the pocket, loops it out right and complete. Overshot the receiver, covered up by Trey Waynes. And the Vikings defense, absolutely one of the very best in the NFL, starts the preseason by forcing the Broncos to punt.
Paul, our defensive backs are in man-to-man. The safety's sitting over the top, and you look across the board, Mackenzie Alexander, Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, all just glued to their receivers. So offenses are going to have a hard time moving the chains when you can't get any separation from your receiver.
Former Raider Marquette King kicks for the Denver Broncos, and he has a huge leg in the Mile High. That's not one of his better presentations to debut in 2018. Marcus Sherrills, the veteran from Rochester, by way of the University of Minnesota. He will go down at the 25, and that's where that guy, Kirk Cousins, makes his Vikings preseason debut. March 15th of 2018, a very big day for Minnesota Vikings fans. That's the day Kirk Cousins officially was signed to a 3-year deal. His last 3 with Washington, he had a completion percentage of 67, 4th most passing yards behind Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and Matt Ryan over the last 3 years. He can run too. Kirk has 13 rushing touchdowns the last 3 years. Kirk Cousins goes under center. The center is Cornelius Edison, 1st and 10. Cousins pumps, fires left, caught. It's caught by the miracle man, Peter. It is Stephon Diggs. That'll be a gain of 6 yards.
Paul, what I love about Kirk Cousins is his ability to get back in the pocket, but then it's just the arm strength. This is a timing route, but Diggs needed a little extra time to get himself open, to get that separation. The offensive line protected him well, and Cousins fired a bullet one-on-one on the outside for a really quick gain of 6 yards.
On 2nd down, no score, first preseason game. Thielen and Diggs off to the right. Cousins out of the shotgun. Latavius Murray to his left. Broncos rush 4. Screen left to Murray. Blown up, but then a flag comes in, and he's taken down at the 31-yard line. He was following the blocking of Cornelius Edison. It's a loss of 1 and a penalty on the Minnesota Vikings.
I think they're going to get Cornelius Edison here with a hold.
Holding. Number 67, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Speaking of Cornelius Edison, there he is, number 67. Rosemont, Minnesota native Tom Compton, 7th year in the NFL, free agent acquisition. He's 79 to the left of Edison. To the right, second-year Kane, Danny Isadora. Mike Remmers is slated to be a guard when we start the regular season. Pat Elflein still is on the mend. It's a makeshift line, Peter.
It is, but going back a couple plays, Paul, we saw the interior of that pocket for passing hold up, so that's a good sign. 2nd and
14, Kirk Cousins, 7th year from Michigan State, under center, hands off to Latavius with a head of steam, zips out to the right side, 30, 35, 40. Latavius Murray runs the Vikings to a first down. That's 22 for 25. Let's take a peek at that again.
What a difference that a year makes. Great blocking by the tight ends, a great double team by the tackle and the guard to get up to the next level. But look at Latavius Murray. He sees that hole, plants that foot, and gets uphill. We didn't see that out of him last year, Paul, as he was coming off the foot surgery. He looks like he's mid-season form right now.
8 rushing touchdowns last year for the Central Florida product. By way of the Oakland Raiders, 1st and 10. Duluth native C.J. Ham in motion, offset eye right behind Kirk Cousins. Hand off Latavius, big hole right side, 45-50. Broncos territory to the 40, upended at the 38. Latavius with some preseason juice. And back-to-back first downs for the Minnesota Vikings. Latavius Murray playing for Dalvin Cook, who is in Denver, but he's not playing this evening. Not exactly sure when Dalvin's going to debut. He's not hurt. They're just being safe.
Oh, they're being smart about it, getting Dalvin Cook ready for the regular season. And that's what you look at a guy like Latavius Murray, Paul, he looks ready to go too. That last play, just a zone block on the front side. Nothing fancy, nothing outrageous for this Denver defense. It's just our offensive line is getting to that second level.
2nd-year Kane, Stacy Coley into the left of Adam Thielen on first down. Play action. Cousins rolls right, dump to C.J. Ham. He's slowed at the 34, and C.J. Ham, the Augustana product, falls ahead to the 31 for a gain of 7 yards.
Well, I know for Coach Filippo, this is his first series coaching with the Vikings, and I know he's got to be smiling because when you can run the football, Paul, that opens up your playbook. It opens up the ability to call all kinds of different plays on that last one. Just a little bit of a misdirection to try to keep the Denver Bronco linebackers from flowing so much. C.J. Ham with a nice catch in the flat.
2nd and 3 from the Broncos 31. No score. First preseason game. Cousins play action. 7-step drop. Pats it. Fires to Diggs. And he catches it at the 7-yard line. Had to reach down to get it. It was a spectacular catch by a spectacular player. And now it's 1st and goal, Minnesota.
Paul, we've seen this in the preseason with Cousins on the play fake. He's thrown it to Stephon Diggs, who when the ball is when he lets it go, he is completely covered. The accuracy down the field is something that we haven't seen. We didn't get that out of Case Keenum. We're getting that out of Kirk Cousins, Paul. That was a beautiful throw, thrown perfectly over the shoulder of Stephon Diggs.
Thielen and Diggs left. Laquan Treadwell, 3rd year to the right. Latavius Murray to the left of Kirk Cousins. It is 1st and goal, Vikings from the 3. 5th play of the first offensive possession. Handoff Murray, play strung out, goes to grinding at the 2. A host of Broncos slow him at the 1-yard line. You mentioned John D. Filippo. He's the new offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. He was quarterbacks coach for the champion Philadelphia Eagles last year. What are we expecting from D. Filippo?
Well, we don't really know what to expect in the preseason and what we're going to see, Paul, but he's all about really getting guys in the right spot. He loves the use of the tight ends. He likes a quarterback that can move, and I think Kirk Cousins gives him the ability to call those rollout plays, those misdirection plays, and having a strong arm Cousins allows him to get explosive deep down the field, which is another D. Filippo, I think, calling sign.
2nd and goal for the Vikings. 2 tight ends left. Ham in motion, offset eye left. Cousins to Murray. Murray to the goal stripe. Leaps, can't get in. On the left side, stood up at the 2, fell ahead to the 1. No gain for Latavius Murray. And with 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, this is the Vikings' first offensive possession after the defense did not permit Case Keenum and the Broncos to achieve a first down. And after going 74 yards, led by Latavius Murray, Stephon Diggs, and Kirk Cousins, it now is 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Tight end Kyle Rudolph stands up slot left. Cousins shotgun, 2 receivers right. Murray to his right on 3rd and goal. Cousins takes the Edison snap, looks left, passes, caught, Diggs, touchdown. Minnesota Vikings preseason touchdown. 6-0 Vikings.
I've seen enough out of Cousins, Paul. Put him on ice. He had that great throw to Stephon Diggs earlier on this last play. That's what defenses like to do. When you get in the red zone, it's 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. In our case, they all out blitz. Cousins sees that. He makes the check. He gets the snap and delivers a strike immediately to Stephon Diggs on the outside. A great throw. That's 2 passes on this drive to Diggs, Paul, that only Diggs could catch. So the accuracy and the arm strength is there, and is very, very smart about seeing the blitz.
So number 7 is 5th-round rookie Daniel Carlson from Auburn. He's a Colorado Springs native, trying to win a spot on the 2018 roster. Snap spot for the extra point, and Carlson bangs it between the uprights, and the Minnesota Vikings go 8 plays, 75 yards. Stephon Diggs with a touchdown catch from Kirk Cousins. This is Minnesota Vikings football. Welcome back to Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. There is Kai Forbath's kick following the Cousins to Diggs touchdown. Lindsey 7 yards deep in the end zone. Goes to a knee, and the Vikings defense heads back to the field. Case on a deep drop, steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side, caught by Diggs. Stay up! Oh, got loose! Oh my God! 30! No! 10! Touchdown! Are you kidding me? Miracle finish! It's a Minneapolis miracle! Stephon Diggs and the Minnesota Vikings have walked up on the New Orleans Saints. One of the great moments in the history of Minnesota Vikings football in the divisional round last year against the New Orleans Saints. As the preseason goes, pretty good start. Kirk Cousins starts 5 of 5 for 42 yards. Handoff by the Broncos up to the 30-yard line for a gain of 4. The Vikings win 75 yards in 5 minutes 14 seconds. Our new quarterback was 5 of 5, 42 yards and a touchdown. Peter, you were very impressed.
I was very impressed in that the pass to Diggs before the touchdown, before they got down to the 2-yard line, he threw Diggs open, and we didn't see a strong arm throw like that, I think, all last year, Paul. So that's the arm strength that we're talking about, and his ability to see the all-out blitz in the red zone and throw for the touchdown. I'm very impressed. Put him on ice. We've seen enough for today.
The man who orchestrated that miracle you saw, Case Keenum, back to pass on 2nd down. A lot of pressure from the backside of Keenum, and he was looking for fullback Janovich. Throws it away. And he was covered by Antoine Williams, a 3rd-year linebacker from Georgia Southern. Here's the Minnesota Lottery scoring drive. 8 plays, 75 yards. Stephon Diggs, 1-yard TD reception. Stephon, 3 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown on that drive. 3rd and 6 for the Denver Broncos from the AFC West. We are at the midway point of the first quarter, preseason game number 1. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Royce Freeman is the tailback to the right of Keenum. He looks that way. Dump, dropped. Jack Tojo, a backup safety. The 1-2 encounter Freeman. And for the Vikings defense, the 1s did not allow a first down. Peter, then the 2s come in and didn't allow a first down.
No, they didn't. And you get Mike Hughes out there with Horace Richardson, Anthony Harris on a blitz on one of the plays. They're covering these Denver wide receivers like gloves, Paul. There's nowhere Case Keenum can go with that football.
Marquette King in his 7th year from Fort Valley State gets off a boomer. Marcus Sherrills surveys the scene, gives it a try at the 27, jukes to the left, and he's taken down at the 28. Cousins to Diggs in the first quarter. 7-0 Vikings on the Minnesota Vikings Entertainment Network. Welcome back to Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Here's our Miller Lite social media segment. You can interact with us via the broadcast. Just use the hashtag VikingsTalk. Tonight we are asking, which Vikings newcomer are you most excited to watch? Kirk Cousins is the newcomer. More on him coming up shortly. So is number 3, Trevor Siemian, a former member of the Denver Broncos, 4th year from Northwestern. He's in at quarterback as Stacy Coley goes in motion atop the screen. And the handoff goes to Mike Boone, undrafted from Cincinnati. Siemian made 24 starts for the Denver Broncos, had a 13-11 record. In 2016, making 14 starts, 18 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Peter, our new backup is Trevor Siemian.
Well, Trevor Siemian is exactly what you need in a backup. He's experienced, and he's had some really big blow-up games, multiple 4-touchdown throwing games. Injuries last year slowed him down eventually, but a good, solid backup quarterback.
Handoff, Mike Boone leaps over a Bronco at the 30, lowers the helmet at the 34, and plunges ahead to the 36-yard line for a gain of 9 yards.
Well, Michael, I like so far is the Minnesota Vikings offense and their ability to run the football. And on that last play, just another great cutback run by Mike Boone. You get the defense flowing in one direction, you read the blocks in front of you, you keep it front side, you cut it back. Great job by Boone setting it up.
Mike Boone trying to win the third tailback job for the 2018 Minnesota Vikings, undrafted from Cincy. Receivers left and right, 1st and 10 for the Trevor Siemian-led Vikings. Siemian back to pass, throws left, threw it a little behind Blake Bell, and that'll be incomplete. Mike Boone played in 10 games, starting 9 as a senior in 2017. He had 4 touchdowns rushing, 1 touchdown receiving. Wears number 44 in a nifty battle with undrafted Rock Thomas from Jacksonville State and veteran Mac Brown, who played with Kirk Cousins in Washington. It is 2nd and 10 for the Vikings, leading 7-0. 6:08 to go in the first quarter. Cousins to Diggs, the only scoring in the game. Boone stays in to the left of Siemian out of the shotgun. The center still is Cornelius Edison. Siemian looks right, shakes the shoulders, passes right, looking for rookie Tyler Conklin. The Bronco comes over his back and knocks it away, so it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they're just trying to set some things up underneath and not get the 3rd and 10, which for the Denver Broncos, this is a perfect opportunity for them to zone blitz and get some pressure. So we haven't seen a lot of deep drops by Siemian on this drive for sure. But overall, they've kept it to 5 and 3-step drops, get that ball out quickly, and it's helped the offensive line, Paul, get their feet underneath.
Conklin, a 5th-round pick from Central Michigan, 11 touchdowns catching the last 2 years. 3rd down, 3rd and 10 for the Vikes, leading 7-0. First preseason game. Trevor Siemian facing a 4-man rush. Dumps over the middle, caught by Stacy Coley for a gain of 5. Flag comes in very late. Stacy Coley, the 2nd-year wide receiver, caught it well shy of the 1st down. The flag came in from deep in the secondary. That's Pete Morelli.
I think we're going to see our first leading with the helmet call of the year.
Have to take a look at that replay.
Unnecessary roughness.
Okay.
Contact to a defenseless player. Number 23 defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
Peter, what do you think?
Well,
31.
They're making
Number 31.
They're making the distinction when a guys have the time and the ability and the space to try to bring a receiver down in a different way. I think that's very, very difficult for a defensive back. He has to really tackle him any other way, but the key for the defensive back for Simmons is to keep his head up. They saw him duck his head, and that's why they threw that flag.
So the Vikings benefit via penalty. 1st and 10 from the Broncos 45. Caleb Jones in motion left to right. Siemian out of the shotgun, gives it to Boone for no gain. Sidelines, Ben Lieber.
Yeah, guys, just want to elaborate more on that play. You know, the thing that drives me crazy about this new rule is the time it took the referee, the back judge, to even throw the flag. You can see his wheels spinning like, do I have to throw it? Do I not? It looked like something I should throw. I'll go ahead and throw it. I think based on the replay, just like you're saying, Pete, how can you avoid that tackle when the receivers turn back around? He actually had time. He was not defenseless, and he hit with his left shoulder.
Well, Ben, you think that the referees are going to be able to speed that process up as they get the chance to see some of these games?
2nd and 10, Siemian dumped left flat, caught Tyler Conklin, short gain, maybe 2.
So, Ben, as the season goes on, do you think the referees are going to get better at making that call? I guess we'll get back to Ben when we get it back up, Paul. But more quick passing from the Vikings offense. Again, I go back to the penalty. When you talk about that penalty, I think it's all about the head angle and the contact that was made with the receiver.
3rd and 8 for the Vikings. 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Trevor Siemian analyzes some players with whom he used to play on the Denver Broncos. Goes back to the shotgun, takes the snap, big blitz, and he's sacked. Trevor Siemian was sacked. First sack of the preseason. That one goes the way of Will Parks, a 3rd-year safety from Arizona, loss of 7. Ryan Quigley, who did not have a touchback in the 2017 regular season, he walks in to punt.
Well, the defense of Denver, I think, getting a little frustrating. This is a safety blitz in the first preseason game, of the year. So they're running safeties up the gut, trying to goat the offensive line into turning the wrong direction and having free runners. So a zone blitz, again, what we thought we'd see on 3rd and long, but the Broncos dial up the right play against the right protection, and they get the safety untouched to the quarterback.
End over end punt, fair catch by McKenzie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vikings family is navigating the 2018 season and beyond with heavy hearts due to the recent death of offensive line coach Tony Sparano. Blessings and condolences go to the Sparano family. We'll be right back. It's Minnesota Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Even though he's not playing tonight, Brandon Zylstra is the U.S. Bank Player Spotlight. Make that Brian O'Neill, offensive lineman Brian O'Neill, 6'7", 297. When he gets up to speed and takes care of some other things, Peter, could definitely help the Minnesota Moving Company.
No question about it. Just a very, very good athlete, basketball player up all through high school. We know he's caught some touchdowns. He's played a little tight end in college, so you just got to beef him up, get him a little bit stronger, Paul, get his footwork right, and he'll be a very, very good offensive lineman.
7-0 Minnesota. Denver with the ball. Handoff to Vontae Booker up the middle for a gain of just a couple. As we wind away in the first quarter, if you just joined us, you missed the debut of Kirk Cousins. He was 4 of 4 for 42 yards and a touchdown. It went to Stephon Diggs. Stephon had 3 catches, 35 yards and a touchdown, including a beauty down by the 2. Latavius Murray ran 4 times for 42 yards. New quarterback in for the Denver Broncos. It is Paxton Lynch. Takes a low snap, whips it over the middle. Ball's up for grabs and intercepted by Anthony Harris. Got tipped, picked off by Harris. Vikings ball at the 23-yard line. Anthony Harris.
Well, Paul, I know what the Vikings are thinking. They're thinking if Denver's going to come after us with a little zone blitz, we could do the same thing. It's Eric Wilson who blitzes off the outside. Nobody even sees him. He comes unblocked. Quarterback looks forward. The tips and overthrows, that's where those things happen. So the quarterback has to get rid of the ball quickly into tight coverage. You get the tip, and then you get the interception. So what great field position by the offense. We're already almost in the red zone. But you talk about defense, offense, then defense going to special teams, the punt, getting the Denver Broncos pinned back in their own area. This is great team transition right now.
Simeon, the 3-year Bronco, sacked the last time he touched the ball. Now he hands it off to Rock Thomas, and the undrafted kid from Jacksonville State with a burst to the 15-yard line for a gain of 7 yards. It's 2nd and 3.
Well, I like the way our offensive linemen are blocking up front. You're getting the double team on the nose tackle and getting some movement, and then Rock Thomas setting up the linebacker, getting him to go outside the shoulder of the guard, and then coming back underneath. So our running backs are really doing a nice job of getting the cutback lanes and creating that space.
Laquan Treadwell left, former Bear and Titan Kendall Wright in motion right to left. Handoff back to Rock Thomas, jump cut to the left across the 15. And he's following the blocking of Avion Collins for a gain of 4 and a first down. Collins wears number 76. He made the team undrafted from TCU last year. He was the extra offensive lineman, the unbalanced tackle. There he is, 76. He's playing left tackle now, Peter, but they started using him at guard a little in practice last week.
Right, he's got that kind of versatility. He's getting up with a little bit of a limp after that last play. Hopefully he can shake it off and protect here on this pass.
1st and 10 Vikes. Simeon back to pass. Passes left, and it's caught inside the 5 for a Vikings touchdown. It's Rock Thomas out of the backfield. 13-yard touchdown. Simeon throws a touchdown against his former team. Rock Thomas gets into the end zone. 13-0 Vikings.
Our quarterbacks, Paul, are making smart plays. We get the running back, Rock Thomas, out of the backfield. No one covers him. No one gets out into the flat. You get the slot defender gets picked off a little bit, but Rock Thomas is almost untouched all the way into the end zone. So the quarterback's doing a wonderful job reading the defense, finding out what's available, and making it happen.
Daniel Carlson, 1 of 1 on extra points in his preseason debut. The snap goes to Quigley, and the Colorado Springs native Carlson bangs it through. Simeon to Rock Thomas extends the lead to 14. The Vikings have 2 passing touchdowns in the first quarter. Vikings and Broncos on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football this evening, courtesy of the VEN. He rocks, we rock, leading 14-0, and the new Vikings Museum is a place for fans to experience the comprehensive history of the franchise. Through multiple interactive exhibits and hundreds of Vikings historical artifacts, this museum is something for every Vikings fan. To learn more or to purchase tickets, visit vikings.com/museum.
We had a chance to go through this a few weeks ago at the opening, and one of the most touching parts was, I think, Corey Stringer. They had a lot of his locker room relics, the things that he had left behind, some of Denny Green's things. And these are guys that I played with, was coached by. I see some Chris Carter out, Chris Carter jersey there. And, just a wonderful place to go see and remember so many players that have come before us, and the great Vikings of the past, the Purple People Eaters. I mean, they have ticket stubs and contracts from the early 60s.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much this game has changed and how much, salaries have gone up, tickets have gone up. It's just a great place.
Just another fantastic aspect of the Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center production. Here's Langley returning it from Kai Forbath. He gets to the 15, to the 20, bumps it out, shakes a tackle at the 22. Then a host of Minnesota Vikings bring him down at about the 24-yard line. Horace Richardson along with Tashawn Bauer, 2 of the 3 to bring him down. The Vikings win a couple of plays, took 1 minute and 14 seconds. Rock Thomas with a 13-yard reception, bumping the Vikings lead to 14-0.
Well, Paul, if you're a coach for the Vikings, you're happy right now because you've got all 3 phases of the game playing together right now. You got a penalty on the kickoff team. We'll get to what that was, but you've got all 3 phases working together. Special teams pinning the Broncos deep. You blitz, you get the turnover, you put the offense in great position, and the offense puts another touchdown on the board. So right now, all 3 phases of the game working very well together.
Paxton Lynch, 3rd-year quarterback from Memphis, formerly a first-round pick, hands it off, backs across the 30. And sprints to about the 33-yard line as Kirk Cousins sits next to Trevor Siemian. The 1-2 combination for the Minnesota Vikings. Both have thrown touchdown passes. Cousins went to Diggs. Siemian went to Rock Thomas. Former Bronco Kyle Sloter will play later this game. Lynch on 2nd down whips one out to the right, and it is caught by River Craycraft, who tries to spin away from some Vikings, including Mike Hughes. The 1st-round pick from Central Florida is in the game, Peter.
Right. Just one-on-one coverage on the outside, faking the run and getting it out there. And when you have guys that can run, especially guys like Anthony Harris and Mike Hughes was a sure-handed tackler in college. These are the kinds of things that I wanted to see tonight, to see how he looks in space, how he does against live competition with the lights on. I don't think the stage is too big for him. He's a heck of a good football player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play all season.
Hughes, a key part of UCF going undefeated on the season and bouncing Auburn in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Lynch rolls out right, passes off the fingertips, and a Stephen Weatherly hit at the 35-yard line. So these Denver Broncos are in desperate need of not only points, Peter, but probably a 1st down.
And they need some completions. They need to get some efficient runs going. The Viking defense with blitzing from the outside on that last play, sending the safety again, causing them to hurry up. They block it up, get it to the outlet, but a nice job by Weatherly to get himself out in the flat and make a tackle in space. So great job defense.
Mike Hughes, the rookie from Central Florida, he had 4 punt return touchdowns over 2 seasons at UCF. He won't get an opportunity this time. The king kick bounces at the 27 and rolls out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Punt of about 42 yards by Marquette King. Deep in the 1st quarter. Kirk Cousins plays 1 series. It behooves us to remind you, Wednesday and Thursday at TCO Performance Center, the Vikings have joint practices against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Part of the Final Four last year, went to the AFC title game, jumped New England early, got run down late. Then we play Jacksonville a week from today.
You're going to see 2 teams with 2 very, very good defenses out there. And so all the scouts and all the pro personnel folks, there's going to be some good defensive players cut off of both those teams.
Siemian fires right. Nice catch, Stacy Coley at the 45-yard line. Gets out of bounds, too. Siemian to Stacy Coley for a gain of 19.
Paul, that's just a back shoulder fade. That's all about timing. And Stacy Coley looking back behind. Great throw and catch. Almost impossible to defend.
Cousins to Diggs. Simeon to Rock Thomas. End of one. Vikings 14, Denver 0 on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota Vikings football this evening, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. We have a microphone on a player this evening. It's Stephen Weatherly. Stephen Weatherly, defensive end. Trevor Siemian, quarterback. Mike Boone, undrafted running back, heads to the left side. No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. The Vikings offensive line started with Riley Reef, Tom Compton, Cornelius Edison, Danny Isadora, and Rashad Hill. Now, Rashad Hill is still in at right tackle, Isadora at right guard, and Edison still in at center into the second quarter. Avion Collins is the left tackle. Get that left guard to you momentarily, but the right side of the line from the center over intact from the starting lineup. Simeon rolls out to the left, passes, and it's caught by David Morgan. David Morgan in Broncos territory, thrown down at the 46-yard line. Tom Compton still in at left guard. So, you know, with Mike Remmers recovering, Pat Elflein recovering, Nick Easton out for the season, I think it's interesting that Zimmer, offensive coordinator John DeFilippo, and the co-offensive line coaches Clancy Barone and Andrew Janocko, they keep 4/5 of that line in. Only Riley Reef is out.
Well, I'm not really surprised because they've been getting a majority of the snaps so far this preseason. You really don't have backups behind them. Let these guys, they're young, really across the board. Let them get their work in.
Handoff Boone, left side. Caught near the line of scrimmage, probably a TFL of a yard, as Boone was run down by Adam Gotsis, a third-year defensive lineman from Georgia Tech, formerly a second-round pick. There's Cornelius Edison, who has improved by all accounts when practicing full-time for Nick Easton and Pat Elflein. Edison, formerly of the Chicago Bears, he played in 6 games, but he's gotten a lot of reps in practice, specifically over the last week since the Vikings lost Easton for the season. Simeon, left, caught. Treadwell shakes a tackle while being thrown backwards, and eventually is taken down at the 44-yard line, gain of 3, Laquan Treadwell.
Well, it's Laquan Treadwell's first action for tonight. He's a guy that you're definitely looking for to light things up once you start going against the second teams, and he needs to. But he has that ability to use the big body to get some separation. Not a lot of run after catch on that last play, just a smash with another route above him. One-on-one, gets tackled, so it leaves us 3rd and long. So be ready for the Broncos here to send or bring somebody, because it's been a blitz fest a little bit in the first quarter of this football game.
Vikings 1 of 3 on 3rd down, 3rd and long. Simeon deep drop, fires, incomplete. Flag comes in. Feels like another unnecessary roughness against the Denver Broncos. Kendall Wright was the intended receiver. This one is DeMonte Thomas. If it's 35.
Contact. Number 38.
38.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Marcus Rios, 2nd year from UCLA. Take a peek at that, Peter.
Well, if the illegal contact is more than 5 yards down the field, I can see that as he's trailing them. But
yeah,
the way things look, that hit also could have been flagged as well. So
yeah,
looked to me like pretty good man-to-man coverage.
That's a good hit.
Yeah, that's a pretty good hit. I think that's
a good hit by 35.
We're getting used to all of this, Paul, and just a little too much grabbing, a little too much hand-to-hand contact, a little too much battling by the safety in the man-to-man situation, and we'll take the first down at 10 yards.
From the Broncos 39, with the Vikings leading 14-0, 12 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Caleb Jones motions behind Simeon, 2 receivers left. Rock Thomas with a touchdown catch tonight gets the call. Undrafted guy from Jacksonville State spurts up the middle across the 35, drags a Bronco to the 31, and eventually the 29-yard line. Nifty battle for that 3rd running back spot. You have Dalvin Cook, then you have Latavius Murray. Got C.J. Ham as your fullback. There's Rock Thomas with a touchdown catch tonight. Mike Boone, in my opinion, all offseason has been not only a fantastic college free agent pickup by the personnel department, But he's in that battle too. That's a tight battle, Pete.
Right. With the preseason, that's one of the big stories I think that we'll be able to see, is that Mike Boone and Rock Thomas, and see those guys dueling back and forth throughout the entire preseason.
Second and very short. Rock stood up at the line of scrimmage. Second effort, first down. Rock to the left side, following the blocking of Avion Collins. Danny Isidore a little slow to get up. Second year from the University of Miami. Here is the U.S. Bank player profile. Rock Thomas, 1,065 yards, 13 TDs in 2017 at Jacksonville State. Originally with Auburn, ran into a crowded backfield, went to Jacksonville State. Now he's in the NFL, trying to win a spot on the final 53. Simeon, facing orange en masse, hoists the white flag at the 30, goes down, second sack, loss of 4. Trevor Simeon, the former Bronco, has been sacked 2 times.
Well, Paul, there's going to be a lot of drawing up and looking at photographs on the sideline, as both teams have had, both defenses that is, have been very effective in blitzing, sending safeties from the outside and being able to get free runners or making the running backs be solid in protection. Simeon needs to anticipate that a little bit quicker and step up and at least know where his outlet is.
Second and 13. Coley in motion to the left of Simeon, who's under center. Trevor takes the snap, gives it to Rock Thomas. He's wrapped up violently by the top part of his sternum and taken down after a gain of 4. So that'll make it 3rd and 10. As Mike Boone checks in, Blake Bell departs. Rock Thomas also departs. Blake Bell, one of the tight ends, vying to make the Vikings final roster. Kyle Rudolph in. I would assume David Morgan in. You have Tyler Conklin, the rookie. He's looked pretty good during training camp. Then you have Blake Bell. The Vikings have possessed the ball 14 minutes, 45 seconds compared to 4.5 for the Broncos. 10 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd and 10, Minnesota in Broncos territory. Simeon facing a blitz, whips it left, caught Mike Boone at the 23, leaps for the first down, but he stepped out of bounds at the 22. And now the first field goal try of the 2018 preseason. It goes the way of Daniel Carlson. He's 2 for 2 on extra points this evening. He's in a stiff battle with veteran Kai Forbath to win the kicking job for the 2018 Vikings. Forbath had a long at Auburn of 56 as a sophomore versus Louisville. This will be a try of 39 yards left hash. Kevin McDermott snaps, Ryan Quigley holds. Snap spot. Carlson right between the eyes. 17-0 Vikings. Daniel Carlson 3 for 3. 1 field goal, 2 extra points. Back shortly. It's Vikings football. 17-zip Vikings from Denver, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Daniel Carlson with a 39-yard field goal. Kirk Cousins and Trevor Simeon each have thrown touchdown passes. Kirk Cousins led the Vikings down the field on his first possession as a player for the Vikings in the preseason. Stephon Diggs had 3 catches on that possession. Trevor Simeon has been sacked twice, but he did have a touchdown pass to Rock Thomas as Kai Forbath gets this kickoff, and it goes out of the end zone for a touchback. To the sidelines, Ben Lieber.
Thanks a lot, PA. Yeah, the tribute you guys played in the first quarter regarding Tony Sparano's passing, there's more that the Vikings are doing. So through the whole season, you're going to see this helmet sticker, the TS for Sparano's initials, and then also you're going to see these little lapel pins that the staff is going to wear throughout the whole season. They're wearing them tonight. Just a small token of appreciation and acknowledgement for Tony Sparano that they can do throughout the whole season.
Nice touch, Ben. The Vikings have co-offensive line coaches. More on that momentarily. Handoff goes to Philip Lindsay, a Colorado native. The co-offensive line coaches are that guy right there, Clancy Barone, along with Andrew Janoko, who was Tony's assistant last year. Now, Clancy was the offensive line coach for the Denver Broncos, Peter, when they won Super Bowl 50. Andrew was with all these guys last year and through the offseason, and certainly through the the awful news that Tony Sperano had passed away. But the guy you're looking at there, Clancy Barone, he has a vast amount of offensive line coaching experience.
He really does, and as everybody is getting up to speed on the DeFilippo offense, he's going to be coming in there. He has a lot of help get these offensive linemen squared away, and it doesn't get any easier when you get a bunch of your starters hurt. You've got to get these younger guys up to speed as quickly as possible.
Third down for the Broncos. Paxton Lynch still in. Pumps. Oh, he's hit and sacked. Tashawn Bauer, undrafted LSU last year. Opened eyes, made the squad. He's on fire again. Tashawn Bauer.
Well, you can call this a coverage sack because Lynch had nowhere to go with that football. Tashawn Bauer makes a nice move, comes underneath, gets the sack, and gets the dance going. So it's the defense, Paul, from a coverage standpoint, has been outstanding this whole evening. Just not a lot of open wide receivers out there for him.
Marquette King with a right-footed kick. Mike Hughes retreats. Here comes the rookie. Jukes left, jukes right, tries to split the difference. Does hit at the 25, down at the 26. Flag on the play. Soon to hear from Pete Bursich's favorite referee, Pete Morelli.
During the kick, holding, number 90 of the receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
I say that because, of course, he was the ref for the 2009 NFC title game. No more on that when we return. It's Vikings football. Vikings football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network, courtesy of Mills Fleet Farm. Time for some trivia. What Minnesota high school did free agent offensive lineman Tom Compton attend? Tom Compton, formerly with the Washington Redskins and the Chicago Bears. Here come the Minnesota Vikings, leading 17-0 with a handoff up the middle. And that one goes for no gain. Tom Compton, starting left guard this evening for the Vikings. Peter?
Rosemount High School.
Boom.
As it comes up.
Yep.
So
Minnesota made.
Yeah, Minnesota made, Paul. We have, I believe, 5 or 6 guys on the roster as of right now that are from the state of Minnesota. So,
and unfortunately, one of them from Spicer, Minnesota, Brandon Zylstra, got nicked up in practice a couple of days ago, and he can't play. I was excited. Oh, Trevor in trouble. Throws the ball away. Might be intentional grounding in the end zone for a safety. Let's see. Mr. Morelli pointing to the ground. No flags in the air. Broncos waving their hands like they just don't care.
I didn't see an eligible receiver.
Here we go.
There's no foul for intentional grounding.
Thank you.
Receiver in the area.
Thank you. Excellent, I think.
Well, Stacy Coley might have been in the region, so to speak. But Denver, they need to do something. So
there's Rock Thomas.
There's absolutely some kind of mistake when you leave a defensive end like that come off free. So some kind of miscommunication up front.
How about this so far? Vikings 12 first downs, Denver 0. Vikings right around 166 yards, Broncos 17. We've had the ball like 16 minutes. They've had it 5.5. And the Vikings lead 17-0. Sweet, good start. 2 receivers left and right, 3rd and 10. Simeon, the quarterback, he has a touchdown pass tonight. Simeon steps up from the end zone, shovels it to Rock at the 15. Rock run down from behind at the 20, but that is a Minnesota Vikings first down. Simeon to Rock Thomas.
Great job by Simeon getting to the top of his drop. There's nothing there. Scrambles, gets some opening, and then a little shovel pass to Rock Thomas, Paul, and you got to give Rock Thomas some credit. Able to get 2 or 3 tough yards after the reception and move the chain. So a nice job by the offensive line with protection. Good decision by Simeon, and Rock Thomas with a nice move to get the first down.
Simeon, the former Bronco, 8 of 11, 69 yards, a touchdown, been sacked twice. Play action, sweeps out to the left, fires, and it's intercepted. It's through the hands of Tyler Conklin, and it's intercepted by the Denver Broncos. It's Anderson. It's Zaire Anderson, 3rd-year inside linebacker from Nebraska.
Now that ball might have been thrown a little bit behind him. Trevor Simeon getting out on the edge on a naked bootleg. There's not a lot of pressure in his face, throwing a little bit behind him. Yeah, that pass, he wasn't really on target. It was a little bit behind Conklin. It hits him in the hand, so you got to catch it. And that's what happens when you don't, and you get these tips and overthrows, and the quarterbacks who just don't quite get it where it needs to be. They get intercepted. So
Zaire Anderson with the interception. Look at that, man. If he throws it ahead of Conklin, he runs for another 15.
Yeah, he'll be able to turn it up and get another 15. But for Conklin, when that thing hits you in the hands, you got to at least catch it, even though it's behind you.
Case Keenum started. Paxton Lynch has gone the majority of the first half for Denver. Vikes lead 17-0. And Denver has it 1st and 10 from the Vikings 30. Handoff with room up the middle. It is Royce Freeman barreling his way to the 23-yard line for a gain of 8 yards. In the game right now for the Vikings defensively, Jaleel Johnson, Kentrell Brothers, Tashawn Bauer, left defensive end, wears number 90. He has a sack. Ifeadi Odenigbo is playing defensive tackle. Stephen Weatherly, the right defensive end. Antoine Williams, linebacker, cheats to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down for the Broncos. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Lynch, short drop, fade, right side, end zone, nearly intercepted back right of the end zone. And it was our guy, Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes with some nice man-to-man coverage, Peter.
Great job on the outside. I think as he develops and gets more, it gets better with the body positioning, he'll be able to turn and get underneath it. If he just lets the receiver get inside of him right at the end. If he can keep his body on the inside there, Paul, and make that turn, that's going to be an interception going the other way. But
yeah, live I thought he had him blanketed, but it looks like Mike anticipated the pass to be farther back and technically let the guy go. That could have been a touchdown. Out of the shotgun, Lynch to Freeman, runs up the middle, 1st down, bumps out to the right to the 10, to the 5, and the Broncos have scored. It's a 23-yard touchdown for the home team. 17-6 Minnesota.
Well, Paul, we're getting you get the option off the outside, and Tashawn Bauer and the linebackers aren't really sure who has what, and that's how you defeat the option. You got to have a responsibility. You've got to know who has what. The linebackers run inside. Tashawn Bauer's not there. And then, of course, Anthony Harris misses what should have been a touchdown-saving tackle. And when you're in space like that and you're a safety, you've got to turn him back into your help, back into the pursuit. You can't let him bounce it outside. So kind of a double whammy there for Anthony Harris, missing a tackle and not turning the running back toward his help.
First preseason kicking opportunity for Brandon McManus. Extra point, splits the uprights. 17-7 Minnesota following a rushing touchdown by rookie Royce Freeman. It's on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football back in Denver, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. 3 plays, 30 yards, 3 plays, 30 yards, 51 seconds. And the Broncos score to make it 17-7. Here are the sleep number game stats, or at least some of them. Complete domination by Minnesota, including 100 passing yards to 0 for the Denver Broncos. Kirk Cousins threw a touchdown. Trevor Siemian threw a touchdown. Daniel Carlson, the rookie from Auburn, 2 of 2 on extra points, 1 of 1 on field goals. Mike Hughes, rookie Central Florida, set to return the kick, and he's going to get a try. 4 yards deep, bobbles it, picks it up at the 5, goes to the 10, to the 15, and he's taken down at the 18-yard line. 23-yard return by the rookie from UCF. A lot is different, Ben Lieber, with the kickoffs this year. Tell us more.
Yeah, you're going to see a drastic change in the NFL as the player safety rules committee came out with new rules for the kickoff. You'll notice right away that there is no running start from the kickoff team. They have to line up on the line where the ball's being kicked. They have to be equally spaced. There's no overloading of one side. And then on the kickoff return team, the major change there is there's a 15-yard buffer zone in which 8 players have to be in that zone. There's no wedge blocks, and there is the ability to peel off guys from the side, but you cannot set up any wedge blocks with 2 or 3 guys. So they're really going to try to limit the forcible contact with the guys on kickoff team not getting a full start and not lining up the return guys back by the returner to get a full head of steam to hit them.
Ben and Pete, do you feel with the new kickoff rules, specifically the standing start part, it may impact how teams set their final 53?
Yeah, I think so. You're going to have guys that can cover, because I think more teams are really going to be getting the ball.
Brock Thomas.
Here we go. He's
50,
gone, baby.
40, 30. Brock Thomas for a long Vikings touchdown. 78 yards. I know what you're thinking, Pete. You're like Cousins, Diggs, who needs it when you have Simeon and Rock Thomas.
Well, both running backs, both Boone and Rock Thomas have been huge. But when defenses get aggressive and they like to blitz, this is how you slow them down. They blitz, you run the screen, one guy misses his coverage. Rock Thomas makes one break to get a safety going the wrong way, and he's out the gate. So great call by DeFilippo here. Again, you're getting a defense that's going crazy. How do you slow them down? The screens, the draws, the delays, and we hit them right with the right play at the exact right time.
Carlson, 2 of 2 on extra points, snap spot, and it's good. Sneaks to the inside of the right upright, so the Vikings lead 24-7. And the Skull chant is underway at Broncos Stadium at Mile High. To elaborate off what you guys were talking about earlier, I'm going to set it up again because Rock just went 78. So with the final 53, do you think with the kickoff rule and the standing start, do you think it impacts the type of players teams keep? I mean, even if it's only like 2 or 3 players you otherwise wouldn't keep.
Well, I think it's going to take out some of the bigger guys. Now, I saw that the Vikings had a couple defensive linemen in, just 2 on the opening kickoff. So it's going to make everyone smaller. It's going to make, I think, everyone a little bit more athletic, and you're not going to get those long running starts into each block and tackle. So yeah, I think it's going to get a little smaller and a little slower on both kickoff and kickoff return. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Pete. I think you're going to see a lot more safeties, corners, guys that know how to run in space and tackle in space. You may not see as much, defensive ends and some of those big guys because, they used to, when you could set up the wedge blocks, you need some bigger guys to split those wedges. And now the elimination of the wedge blocks, you don't need those guys anymore.
Well, Kai Forbath, he's only been handling kickoffs, but he's been handling them with aplomb. This may be the longest touchdown we see all preseason. Well, it's worthy of another look, Peter.
Yeah, great job by Simeon to set that thing up, to look on the outside, setting it up with the lineman.
Collins
get outside.
with the block.
Avion Collins leading the way. But great job by Rock Thomas to set that thing up, to cut it back inside, and it was the perfect call at the perfect time. Very well executed from the offensive line to the quarterback, selling it, the whole thing, and that's what happens. You can spring for those big explosive plays.
24-7 Minnesota. About 5 minutes to go in the first half. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Lynch goes left and is caught by Cortland Sutton, a second-round rookie from SMU. They're quite high on him here in Broncos territory.
Marcus Sherrill's in the game there to get a late rally up for a tackle. So
with Mike Hughes.
Yeah, Mike Hughes and Marcus Sherrill's in there. I mean,
with that only Broncos touchdown too, I know it's only preseason, but it also plays into the regular season. The touchdown and the good field position was made available due to a turnover. So I mean, it doesn't have to be it can be preseason, regular season, postseason, or the Super Bowl. If you're turning over the ball in minus territory, you're putting so much stress on your team. It's not like it's going to lead to points every time, but obviously it's not preferred.
No, you're right, and they're celebrating a little bit on the sidelines, offensively, defensively. But Paul, you're absolutely right. Those are the rules of the game that the young players need to know. This is the NFL. You're not going to be able to turn the ball over in your own, with the shadow of your own goal line or the goal post, and let an offense have a short field. We're seeing that. At the beginning of the game, our defense doing a nice job stopping, good job with special teams. Offense comes out. It's offense leading to defense and special teams working together as a unit. Big stop here on third down, Paul. I don't think they got that on the off tackle.
Right, and it was your guy you fell in love with at practice the other day, Thursday, David Perry.
Now, David Perry,
the veteran defensive tackle.
You've got over 300 pounds stuffed into a 6-foot frame, maybe 6'1" to be generous, but great penetration one-on-one, pushes the center back, and then gets flat enough to tackle the running back. So Perry doing a wonderful job one-on-one. He's a physical player, has a lot of NFL experience. He's been in these battles like this before, so he's not a rookie. He's not just coming out of the middle of nowhere.
Perry, a fourth year from Stanford. He has played in 33 games and has 32 starts. Here is the punt, bounces out of bounds inside right around the 25-yard line. Perry spent 2 years with Indianapolis and spent last year with New Orleans, played a game, but then sustained an injury. overall in his career. He has 4 sacks. And as of right now, he's the backup for Linval Joseph.
He is, and Paul, he did have a really good stint down there in Indianapolis where he saw a majority of his starts and a majority of his productivity. But you couldn't find a guy who's looks more different than Linval Joseph. But Linval Joseph just being an enormous man. But the result is still the same. You get all that weight and all that power in a little package, and they could really do some penetrating in the offensive line.
Avion Collins slides to left guard. Simeon tosses it to Boone. Sprints around the left side, looks for a block from Coley the Cane and doesn't get it. And he runs out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. Flag on the play. Danny Isadora started the game at right guard. He's still in the game. Analyze this infraction and take a peek at that offensive line. Storm Norton is the left
illegal
tackle.
Formation. Number 11 covered up the tight end. Penalty will be declined. Second down.
That's Treadwell. 75 is Brian O'Neill, second-round pick from Pitt, 62nd overall pick in the most recent draft. Highest drafted Pitt player by the Vikings since HOF Chris Dolman at number 4 overall in 1985. Very athletic, very athletically gifted right tackle. See if he plays well this evening. Brian O'Neill, right tackle. So the Vikings back up 5 yards, 2nd and 14 from the 21. Simeon pats the ball, looks to pass left, but the ball is swatted out of the sky by Shelby Harris, a 4th-year defensive lineman from Illinois State. It'll now be 3rd and long, approaching the 2-minute warning, 24-7 Minnesota.
When you get these 3-step drops, the offensive linemen, they have to do their best to get the hands of the defensive linemen down. We had no one in the backfield, 5 out, or empty formation as you call it, and we're in this spot 3rd and long as Laquan Treadwell lined up illegally covering up a tight end. Now for a guy going into his 3rd season, Paul, you've got to know better than to cover up a receiver or be on the line of scrimmage when you have an eligible tight end.
Josh Andrews, the center. Simeon fires over the middle, caught Kendall right at the 30-yard line, shy of the 1st down, and that should get us to the 2-minute warning. The Vikings will dust off Ryan Quigley, and when we return, he'll punt. Minnesota leads 24-7 from Denver on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football from Denver, courtesy of the VEN, the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings Rewards is an opportunity to thank fans for their unending loyalty. Earn points for just watching games and redeem them for Vikings prizes and experiences. Enter the promo code 811-COLEY, 811-COLEY, and receive 250 points. Visit Vikings.com/rewards. Paul Allen, Pete Bursich, Ben Lieber on the sidelines, along with Greg Coleman. And Ryan Quigley is punting for the Minnesota Vikings. Long snapper is Kevin McDermott. Takes the snap, gets the punt away. David Williams runs up to it. Here he comes from the 23. Stutter steps, goes backwards to the left, turns the corner at the 25 to the 30. Uh-oh, no flags. David Williams angles right. Check that, not David Williams. Isaiah McKenzie. Touchdown, Denver. 77-yard touchdown, Isaiah McKenzie.
Well, the Cardinals' sin when you're covering a punt ball is to break down too much. The first guy there has to take a shot at the runner and turn him the way he wants. You can see right there are plenty of purple or white jerseys there to get him. You want to make that return guy turn back inside to your help, and no one was able to turn Isaiah McKenzie back inside because once he got into space, he was gone. So that coverage unit, they get back, they watch the film, they got to make sure that they're all operating on the same page there because guys just were not sound in their lanes and in their coverage.
24-13 Minnesota. A preseason explosion of points, week number 1. Isaiah McKenzie to the right, to the left, inside the 5, and runs himself to a touchdown, hoping to run himself onto Vance Joseph's final 53.
Well, if you're Vance Joseph, you've got to like the fact that your team's showing some life, Paul, after being just not doing much in the first quarter and a half of this football game. So they're starting to show a little bit.
Extra point is good. Analyze, Peter.
Well, Paul, the return guy, he starts and stops about 2 or 3 different times, and all he's doing is buying time for his blockers. And as a cover guy, you have to know that. So do not break down because you're just helping him out. You should know where your help is, meaning if I'm going to miss this return guy, which way do I want to make him cut? I want to make him cut back inside if I had contained, turn him back to your help. And if he stops and you as a cover guy just stop, you're just, like I said, you're allowing the blockers time to get down and knock you out of the way. So you get into the second team group, the first team, they've been covering punts, they've been working on it, they've probably done it in the past. Well, special teams counts, and it's big. We were seeing it right there. So those tight ends and some of those linemen, some of the defensive linemen that step up and get a chance to play, the tight ends, they have to be able to cover kicks these days. And you know, a couple big bodies is not an excuse.
Vikings special teams coordinator Mike Prefer has a lot on his plate, as do all coaches. We got to decide between Carlson and Kai. You have the new kickoff rule with the standing start. You yearly, part of being a special teams coordinator is you have an influx of new players coming into all phases of special teams. And now you watch that thing back on the plane flight this evening back to Minneapolis, and that's where the teaching begins.
Well, it's tough. I mean, the special teams guys coach more players than anybody else. You gotta be smart there.
We had a high kick caught by Caleb Jones in front of Mike Hughes.
Well, he went for the fair catch, which probably wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Minute 39.
Yeah, after he did it, he started to run that, which that would have been a penalty as well. So we're pinned deep here with 2 minutes to go.
One of the most exciting features of Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center is TCO Stadium. The 6,000-seat venue hosts a variety of events, including high school football games this fall, with an eye toward more high school events and youth sports. Visit Vikings.com for more information. Simeon passes right for Blake Bell, and it nearly went for a pick six. Nearly intercepted by Will Parks, third year from Arizona. 24-14 Minnesota. Vikings get the ball to begin the second half.
Well, these are the times when you've got to have receivers like Laquan Treadwell. They have to be able to step up. Kendall Wright, who's been in played in a lot of NFL games, very high draft pick for Tennessee.
Yeah,
he's got to step up and beat somebody across the middle of the field.
Coley in motion. Simeon out of the shotgun, handoff to Boone, smacked at the 5-yard line, buried by an on-charging Josie Jewell, rookie inside linebacker from Iowa.
Now Josie Jewell, the linebacker, doing a great job seeing the guard pull in front of him and just replacing his feet and getting downhill. So with the little motion with the wide receivers coming in late, it's been mostly run, and the linebackers and the defense, they be down the sidelines. They start planning and seeing things, anticipating. So the Viking offense, Paul, it's been sputtering a little bit here on the last couple drives, and it's been this to the special teams has been a bit of a thorn in our side.
How do you read into Laquan Treadwell playing the entire first half?
I wouldn't read into it any which way. He needs to get out there on the field. He's had 1 reception today on a comeback or on a hook route.
Yeah.
I want to start seeing him get open and get some balls thrown his way, especially getting in the second part of the first half.
Treadwell, top of the screen, facing man coverage. Boone, the single set. About 6 yards behind Simeon. Handoff Boone out of the timeout. And Mike Boone gets back to the line of scrimmage. The Broncos will take another timeout. So the Vikings have dominated pretty much all statistical categories, including the scoreboard. But it's 24-14. And the Broncos still have 1:27 left. And probably will get good field position here. Try to get some more points at the end of the first half.
I mean, yeah, you look at the numbers, Paul. Offensively, Denver's been able to muster 56 total yards in this first half. Minnesota putting up 260. So, but it's a great teaching lesson. I'm sure that's exactly what Zimmer's going to do and the coaching staff's going to do when they come back. They're going to say, yeah, we dominated them in this category A, B, and C. But if we don't tighten it up over here on special teams and with the turnovers, with the interceptions especially, we're we're not going to win a lot of football games. And that's one thing that the Vikings did so well last year, was protecting the football. Now we have a backed up punt situation. Last time on the punt, we gave up a touchdown. Let's see if this cover crew does a better job this time down.
Craycraft back to retrieve this punt. It's a shorty. Craycraft on the run. He'll let it bounce, and it bounces over his head. Oh, Craycraft with a mistake. And the ball rolls inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. And Richard Clayette, a backup linebacker, touches down the Quigley punt. That goes for 67 yards.
Yeah, much better job by Holton Hill on the outside. Some of the gunners doing a better job getting downhill. And, you know, that's, as a special teams group, things happen so quickly. You give a pump for a touchdown, and you have to go back out there and get a good kickoff return. And it didn't quite happen, which allowed us to get pinned up in the back and really have to punt on our own end zone. So a great job by the special teams unit, especially Ryan Quigley, giving us some breathing room with 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go in the first half.
Lynch, 3 of 6, 7 yards. Fires over the middle, and it's caught at the 28-yard line. Coming near side is Lindsey, the Colorado native. That is good for a gain of 5 yards. 58 seconds, that is, to go in the first half. Broncos with 1 timeout remaining, trailing by 10. Lynch pats the ball, flustered, hit, bounces off of it, and as he's going down, he throws it out to the right flat, where it's incomplete. Intended receiver, that rookie from SMU, Cortland Sutton.
Now great coverage on the outside, just cover 2, smash 7 routes, and Jaleel Johnson getting that pressure, making Simi pull that football down. So almost getting the sack. He's almost there. Jaleel Johnson, Paul, played quite a bit toward the end of the season. Not a lot of productivity, but he did get a chance to play against the Eagles. So he has that experience, and I think he's going to piggyback on that going into season number 2.
By the way, in getting by 77, he got by 5th-year offensive lineman Billy Turner from NDSU. So he got by a veteran. Lynch looking for a screen right, but Tashawn Bauer was up in his mix. So he had to short hop the intended receiver. And like that, the Broncos, trying to play hurry up, had to go 3 and out.
Well, this is a nice job by Tashawn Bauer, just being an athlete and getting his hand up on it. I mean, Simeon didn't sell it. We saw that earlier with Trevor Simeon, our guy. He looks one way, gets the defense going, and then brings the screen back the other way. So Lynch did not sell it the same way, and Tashawn Bauer is able to get his hand on it. So nice athletic play by the defensive end, and the defense holds up in a 2-minute drill.
Marquette King to Mike Hughes. Hughes had 6 return touchdowns at UCF, 3 by way of punt. Here he comes at the 15, far side, just inside the numbers, hit at the 20, and taken down at the 22-yard line. A kick of 56 and a return of 10 yards. Philosophically speaking, say Mike Hughes, and we're going to get into this in the second half with Ben Lieber, the secondary battles like for the nickel and Mackenzie Alexander, and how do you use Terrence Newman and Mike Hughes. Say Hughes plays a fair amount in the secondary. Do you naturally pull back on his special teams work, like at gunner or punt and or kick returner?
Well, if he's going to be starting in nickel and as being the fifth defensive back in the game, so much of this game, about 60% or 63% of defense is played with the nickel personnel. So, yeah, if he's going to be starting a nickel, you're going to have to pull back a little bit on some of his special team duties.
Screen left, Boone turns up at the 25, hit at the 27. Boone spins to the 31-yard line, following the blocking of Danny Isadora. The second-year Miami Hurricane played the entire first half. Clock continues to run. Mr. Zimmer has 3 timeouts, and he will opt to use none of them. Vikings get the ball to begin the second half. Kirk Cousins threw a touchdown pass to Stephon Diggs. Trevor Siemian threw a touchdown pass to Rock Thomas. And Rock Thomas caught another one and went 78 yards. He got loose. Vikings lead 24-14 on the Vikings Entertainment Network.
Vikings preseason football is presented by Miller Lite, official beer of the Minnesota Vikings. By U.S. Bank, uniting fans, creating possibilities. That's the power of possible. And by Twin Cities Orthopedics, official sports medicine provider of the Minnesota Vikings.
Alrighty, welcome back to Broncos Stadium at Mile High. The Vikings lead the Denver Broncos 24-14. You know, quirky touchdowns can be the ultimate equalizer. statistically speaking, absolute domination by the Minnesota Vikings. 289 yards to 61. Vikings have those 269, that is. The Vikings, from a first down standpoint, 14 to just 1 for the Denver Broncos. But an interception by the Broncos paved the way for a Royce Freeman 23-yard touchdown run. And then you had a punt return touchdown by Isaiah McKenzie. That went for 78 yards. The last points we had in the first half. Kirk Cousins, 4 of 4 with his only drive in the first half, 42 yards, threw a touchdown to Stephon Diggs. Trevor Siemian has 2 touchdown passes, both to Rock Thomas. With the Vikings leading by 10, let's get the thoughts of head coach Mike Zimmer, joined by Greg Coleman.
Greg Coleman back at Coach, with the Denver Broncos. They made some plays in the second half, but what were you pleased about with your offense in the first quarter?
Well, I thought Kirk was very, very sharp early. Trevor did a nice job distributing the ball. I thought our offensive line came off the ball. We ran the ball good. Latavius had a couple nice runs. Rock Thomas had a couple nice runs. You know, we kind of let him out a little bit, you know, with the punt return and then the turnover and then, you know, catching the ball on the 9-yard line, which wasn't very smart.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
Okay.
That's head coach Mike Zimmer, guys. Some things he's pleased with, other things they got to work on. Paul, back to you and Pete.
Yeah, it's obviously all a work in progress, and the Vikings have 2 joint practices at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center with the Jacksonville Jaguars Wednesday and Thursday. That's a double-edged sword. It's good because you get to practice against another team, and a very good team, a team that went to the AFC West. You know, but that team also gets the opportunity to deep dive on some players you really like on your team that you may be, you know, hoping to slip through waivers or slip onto the practice squad or whatever. Then they play the Jacksonville Jaguars next Saturday at US Bank Stadium. That is a noon kickoff. It'll be a simulcast on Fox 9, FM 100.3 The Fan, and also the Vikings Entertainment Network. Case Keenum, the former Viking, he started for the Denver Broncos, went 1 of 4 for 5 yards, passer rating of 39.5. Rock Thomas, the undrafted running back from Jacksonville State, leads everybody in everything. 102 yards on 3 receptions. He had that 78-yard touchdown. Stephon Diggs on his only drive, 3 catches, 35 yards, had a 28-yard beauty down around the 2-yard line on a perfectly thrown pass by Kirk Cousins. Stacy Coley and Laquan Treadwell played a majority of the first half. Coley, 2 catches, 23 yards. The second half is underway as McManus kicks it over Stacy Coley's head, and the Vikings have the ball to begin the second half.
Again, some highlights from the first drive. That's a nice timing by Diggs on the outside. Another great throw on a crossing route. That throw right there, perfectly delivered to Diggs on that 1-yard line, and then you just had the clear in the underneath route. Cousins saw the all-out blitz coming, got the ball where it needed to be. So the strong arm of Kirk Cousins, Paul, has already shown up, and it's already the rapport between he and Stephon Diggs has shown up as well.
Third quarterback Kyle Sloter, formerly of the Denver Broncos, second year from Northern Colorado. He goes out of the shotgun, and the handoff out of the shotgun goes up the middle to Matt Brown. Of the 3 backs battling for the third running back spot, he is the most veteran of said trio. Matt Brown in his 3rd year from Florida, formerly of Washington, where he played with Kirk Cousins. Sloter began his collegiate career at Southern Miss as a wide receiver. Didn't want to play receiver, went to Northern Colorado, played in the preseason for the Denver Broncos last year, played all 4 games, and absolutely tore it up. Second down, handoff Brown, sprints up the middle between the hash mark, close to the first down, gain of 4, but he missed it. So Sloter, in the 2017 preseason with Denver, completed 72% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. He had a 125 passer rating. In the 4th preseason game against Arizona, 220 yards, a touchdown, 0 picks. Now, last year, the Broncos were navigating between the likes of Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Chad Kelly, and they waived Sloter with the hopes of getting him on the practice squad. The Vikings and at least 8 other teams jumped on it. And the Vikings outbid the other teams. Handoff to Brown, stuffed, we're punting. The Vikings outbid all of the other suitors for Kyle Sloter's services. He was on the team all year last year, and he's currently the 3rd quarterback behind Kirk Cousins and Trevor Siemian, Kyle Sloter.
Now Kyle Sloter really on that play, just it's a long developing play on short yardage and too much penetration given up front. Avion Collins, a lot of those the interior offensive linemen are still playing into the second half. I think that's more of just an issue with depth than anything else, but you got to have some better sustain in the blocks up front.
The Broncos have a punt return touchdown this game. It was Isaiah McKenzie. This is River Craycraft. Quigley with a rather short punt, elite bounce, bounces off Craycraft at the 15, and now he heads to the 20 far side, shoved out of bounds by Trey Matthews, undrafted rookie safety. Broncos ball, Vikings lead 24-14 from Denver on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Hey, it's Vikings football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. We lead by 10. Ben Lieber's on the sidelines with Stephon Diggs.
That's right, PA. The man of the day so far, Stephon Diggs, is with me. And Stephon, I just got to ask you, general reaction. You know, this is your first game out here with Kirk Cousins, John DeFilippo, this new look offense. How did it feel?
I felt great. I told you guys a while ago I was really excited, excited to work with those guys, and, I was looking forward to the opportunity. So tonight was a, small step in the right direction, just as far as, like, trying to get things going, getting on the right page early, developing that trust with your quarterback.
Well, you talk about that trust. I tell you what, the play down the sidelines where Kirk threw it out there, you were actually covered, and then at the last second you reached your arms out there. How did you guys develop that trust so early on in camp?
Just as far as making the plays when they come to you, as a quarterback, I understand how hard it is to be back there, making throws, and he does a great job. So I try to take advantage of all the opportunities, and when he gives me opportunity, make the play for him.
You guys' first drive was spectacular. The rhythm was perfect. Is that what we expect to see out of DeFilippo's offense?
I would say so. We work really hard. We try to do things the right way, do things how he wants them done. And, to see the ball on the ground, running the ball really well and holes opening up, it's exciting. But we try not to get too excited in the beginning. It is preseason, but we're just trying to tighten screws and get better each and every day.
Can you give us a little insight on the huddle? Inside the huddle, you got 3 interior offensive linemen that, are grinding. They're stepping in for injuries. How did those guys look, and how did they feel today?
When I was in there, we here to play, but those guys are really focusing on their job. Not too much talking and not too much, rah-rah or anything. They go in and do all the dirty work. I'm on the outside, so I don't have to experience too much of it, but I'm happy for those guys, and they do a tremendous job.
All right, fun little question for you to wrap this thing up. You guys have a lot of Instagram and social media dance-offs in practice. Who's the best dancer on the team?
Adam and Trevor Siemian. You got to see those guys, and actually, they're kind of shy, but once you get them to open up a little bit, they'll shake a tail feather, I guess. So
you're telling me 2 white guys on this team are the best dancers? I find that hard to believe.
Listen. This is it's a surprise. Keep things fun and exciting.
I for sure thought you were going to say yourself.
No. Never take the credit. Never take the credit.
But you can dance.
I get the dance moves from those guys.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good job, Ben. Stephon Diggs, by the way, speaking of Adam Thielen, last year, the wide receiver duo of Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, 3rd with the most yardage in the NFL. Top 2, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster for the Steelers, Julio Jones, and Mohamed Sanu for the Atlanta Falcons. Paxton Lynch steps up, walks away from the pressure, runs away from Stephen Weatherly. Looks like Holton Hill was held. But there's no call. And Diggs last year had 849 yards. Adam Thielen, 1,276 yards. Boy, Stephon Diggs runs good routes.
He does. He finds a way to get open, even though he's covered tightly. And that's what I like about the first half, Paul. A couple of the receptions, they were tight coverage. Able to late in the game or late in the route, get those hands free and make the catch. So Stephon Diggs came in as a big over-the-top speed type receiver, and he still has a lot of that in the tank.
And it all started for Diggs here in Denver at Broncos Stadium at Mile High. He made his debut in 2015, 6 catches, 87 yards, had a long of 25, didn't score any touchdowns, but I'll never forget that day because he hadn't played earlier in the season. You got corners like Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, and Bradley Roby. the Vikings lost the game on a T.J. Ward strip sack, but that secondary had no idea what was hitting them with Thielen and Diggs that day.
No, they didn't. The quickness got to them. I think that's what everybody is surprised about when you look at it on paper. You got a 5th round and an undrafted free agent and wide receiver, but these guys are legit. You get them on the field, they're so quick, they play so well together, and they're smart. They know when to break routes and what to do.
Number 36 of the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A face mask against the Denver Broncos. Kyle Sloter, take 2 when we return. 24-13 Vikings, 9.5 minutes to go from Denver. It's Vikings football. It's Minnesota Vikings preseason football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. 9.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Vikings lead by 10. And you can experience what it's like to be a Minnesota Viking as you conquer the TCO Vikings 5K. Join us Saturday, October 20th. You and friends finish on the 50-yard line at TCO Stadium in Eagan. Space is limited. Register at Vikings.com/5K. Kyle Sloter, the former Bronco, from under center, deep drop, looks left, swings right to Mike Boone, turns up, nice burst of speed to the 45. And he's out of bounds just shy of the first down, gain of 6 yards for Mike Boone. Peter, I have some really good Vikings-related news I'd like to share with you.
All right.
Here is a list of players that are signed through at least 2020. So they go 13-3 last year, get to the NFC title game. They have an excellent shot to win at a very high level this year. But how about this through 2020? Eric Kendricks, there he is with the bucket hat. Danielle Hunter, Linval Joseph, Everson Griffin, Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, and Pat Elflein.
Well, I mean, you have a core there that you're going to be able to build on, and you bring in someone like a Kirk Cousins to come in.
Danielle Hunter, newly re-signed.
Yeah, Danielle Hunter, you can just look at him right there on the sideline with his arms and how much he's grown over the last couple of years. He's set to have a great season. I think Everson Griffin's going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to match Danielle Hunter one-on-one with quarterback sacks this year. Everson Griffin having an unbelievable year last year till I think the foot injury slowed him down. But yes, the key components of this defense, and a lot of them on offense, are going to be here for the next 2 or 3 years.
1st and 10, Sloter, play action, trying to throw a touchdown versus his former team. He'll settle for a deep out to Caleb Jones for 11 yards and a first down. You mentioned Everson Griffin, 97. He had at least 1 sack in every game up to the London game. And seriously, legitimately was on pace to push Michael Strahan's sacks record for a single season. Final play of the game against Cleveland, messed up his foot. It was plantar fascia, and it impacted him the rest of the year.
It really did, and that's, you look at those kinds of records, that's what makes him so amazing, is a guy like Strahan can stay healthy for that long. And Everson had everything going his way early on in the season, and that's all right. But he came back and he's done well. He's recovered from the foot. He looks great. He's looked great in practice. He's got all his speed back, and he's an intense player, Paul. You go out to practice, he's always the first one on the field, one of the last ones to leave. He doesn't take anything for granted, and he's one of the players on this defense that's, I think, benefited the most from Mike Zimmer coming in, because Mike Zimmer has found a way to get to him, get into his head, to get him to take his game to the next level, and he's definitely benefited for it, and he's been just a joy to watch over the last 4 or 5 seasons.
2nd down for the Vikings, led by Kyle Sloter. 2nd and 9 from the Broncos 38. Minnesota leads by 10. Second half, preseason game number 1. Sloter from under center, flag on the play, hit, and the former Bronco is sacked. Back at the 43-yard line. A sack pending penalty. Penalty on the Vikings. Sack to be accepted. False start Vikings.
Illegal formation, offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
So with those players, signed through 2020, we've talked about Everson, Danielle Hunter, Anthony Barr missed some practice this week, so he didn't play tonight. With Kendricks and Barr as your 2 in the nickel, that's pretty solid. Then you got that guy Harrison Smith right behind him.
You're right, and Harrison Smith being what I still think is one of the most complete safeties in the league right now. He can blitz, he can tackle, he can do everything. And it's a rarity these days in this day and age to have a safety. A lot of safeties are considered in the box, or this guy plays free and he plays deep. Harrison Smith can do all those things, and what that's so valuable to a coordinator, because you can use him to cover down the field, but you can also use him to step up in certain situations and show a blitz or even blitz or come off the edge and still be able to make a tackle. And that's the important part, is you don't give anything away. You don't know where Harry's going to be. You don't know if he's going to be in the box, lurking down deep, if he's going to blitz. You have no idea where he's going to be. You have to respect him no matter where he goes.
Carlson, rookie from Auburn, with a 57-yard try left hash. Snap, spot, the rookie's kick with plenty of leg, and it is good. Daniel Carlson from 57. 27-14 Vikings, Peter. Daniel Carlson.
Well, the jewel of the game is coming through, Paul. That was 57 yards, and he probably had another 4, 5, 6 yards to spare. The kid's calm, he's cool, he's collected, looks great.
We have an interview with Kirk Cousins around the corner on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings preseason football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. An interview with Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins coming up very soon. Daniel Carlson, the rookie from Auburn, just nailed one from 57. Wind at his back. But that make of 57, as Kai Forbath kicks off, is the longest make in Daniel's collegiate or professional career. He hit one from 56 versus Louisville as a sophomore at Auburn. We have secured Kirk Cousins, and we head down to Ben Lieber.
Thanks a lot, PA. Hey, PA, this is a first. In all the preseason games we've worked together, I've never been able to interview a quarterback in the game, so this is big. All right, Kirk Cousins. I have to get just your general impressions of Viking uniform. Coming out, you hear a lot of Viking fans here in Denver, and then your guys' first drive or two out here with this offense.
Yeah, our family's thrilled to be here. We're thrilled to be Minnesota Vikings. Can't wait for this season, and it's good to get out here and just go through the game mechanics, substitute in and out of the huddle, work a play clock, work the crowd noise, and move the football. It's a good first drive.
It was a great first drive. I talked to Stephon Diggs earlier, and we talked about the pass that you threw to him on the sidelines where he was covered, and he just extended his arms at the last second and caught it. We talked about trust and how that's been built up. How have you built up that trust so early in camp with those guys?
Well, you know, he makes plays, and when he makes plays, it gives you just motivation to get the ball more and more and to trust him and throw him open and you know, make the contested catch. And once again tonight, he proved me right. It's not an easy catch to make. It's an elite trait when you can go pluck it like that with your hands, and we're going to need him to do that a lot more this year.
Well, and I know that you guys have had a lot of practice during the offseason and early in training camp with DiFilippo in your headset, talking you through the plays and the flow of the game. How did you feel that chemistry worked out here in this game when it's actually live?
Well, it did have a different feel to it. It's hard to really prepare for a true game during practice. We do our best, but that's what preseason's all about. Good mechanics of hearing the play call in the headset, making the calls at the line of scrimmage, getting the substitutions in. I think it was a smooth first drive, but it's a small sample size, and the next couple of weeks will be a good test for us.
You know, coaches talked about getting the ball down the field a little bit more, getting aggressive. Obviously, you guys didn't show that tonight. Everybody keeps everything pretty close to the vest. But in practice, have you seen that come to fruition, getting the ball down the field more in his offense?
Yeah, and it always, as any play does, takes the whole group. I mean, it takes protection. It takes a good creative scheme. It takes guys who can go deep and adjust to the ball in the air and run fast. It takes other guys running complementary routes. And I got to make a good decision and throw accurately. But the more we can be explosive, create big plays, the better off we are.
Well, part of that protection issue is obviously the offensive line. I know it's a team thing with running backs and tight ends, and you guys have had some injuries up front. How did those guys come out here and prepare and perform today?
Well, what stood out to me was the way he ran the football. I felt like we had a few explosive runs. We got behind the chains with a penalty, and then right away had to run up the middle with Latavius and got a first down. So when you run the football that well and can stay ahead of the chains, your whole playbook's open to you, and the pass game becomes that much easier.
Well, really impressive game today. You guys looked smooth. You guys looked in rhythm. And I just want to say that from everybody in Vikings land that we're happy you're here, man.
Thank you. We're thrilled to be here and just want to go win a lot of football games now. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
March 15th of 2018, that's when the bid was finalized. 3 years for Kirk Cousins, one of a handful or more than a handful of very talented player, signed through 2020. You know, and with it being 1st and 15 for Denver, we have a couple of seconds to chat about a question I've gotten a lot with interviews I've done in other markets or on the 9 to noon show at the Fan. And it's off the season Case Keenum had last year. Okay, Bradford plays in the New Orleans game, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He goes down with the knee. In comes Case in a weird spot at Pittsburgh. They lose. After that, Case is fantastic. So why Cousins and not Case?
Well, I think Cousins gives you more opportunities from an offense. I think if there's one thing about Keenum that the coaching staff maybe got frustrated with him is he left a lot on the table deep. He was able to keep plays deep, but there are a lot of guys running wide open deep down the field, and Cousins definitely has that arm strength and enough arm strength to do that as we get burned on the wheel route.
Wow. Chad Kelly with a touchdown pass.
It's a long developing route.
Yeah, that went to Matt Lacoste. So yeah, I mean, Keenum was fantastic last year, specifically against like his former team, the LA Rams. I mean, he did orchestrate the miracle. Granted, the rookie safety for New Orleans completely blew it, and there goes Diggs, stay in bounds. But I mean, Case Keenum was some of the intangibles that he displayed last year, just the toughness, the huddle presence, and all that. You can, even though Keenum is here wearing orange and blue, and we're tickled to have Kirk Cousins, you can't forget some of the great memories provided by Case Keenum.
No, absolutely not. I mean, just what he did to win 13 football games, or 12 behind him, is a remarkable accomplishment. And he was a leader, and by a leader, you mean he got the most out of the guys around him, and I think he really did that. Now, not the strongest arm that you've ever seen, but he was more mobile than I thought he was. We saw him do some Houdini-like escapes throughout last year to extend plays and to make plays down the field. So, you know, you bring in Cousins, I think he's going to be, he's had more potential. He has the ability to do more, I think, than not whether or not he will or not, but he has that potential.
Equipment guy Turtle just got a little run on the simulcast. 27-21 Vikings from Denver. Minnesota Vikings football, thanks to the Vikings Entertainment Network. Via the TCO Health Report, rookie, make that second-year running back Dalvin Cook did not play this evening. It is not injury-related, but nevertheless, they've been very cautious with him this offseason, and specifically during training camp, where Ben Lieber, Dalvin Cook, when he practices, it's one speed. It's 1,000 miles per hour. Then they'll lay off him the next day, bring him back the next day. But eventually, Ben, we're going to see Dalvin, and I would imagine you think, you know, what we see we're going to like.
Oh, I would think so. And I think the Vikings are doing the smart thing by putting him on a pitch count for the practices and allowing him to just keep building that trust. And I think that's the one thing that he's done faster than a lot of other people can off ACLs is he got rid of that knee brace and said, hey, if I need to trust this thing, I'm going to have to trust it. And he took it off. And like you said, when you watch him in practice, he is 100 miles an hour. It's full speed cuts. So it looks like to us that he fully trusts that knee already.
Yeah, the ACL injury he sustained in the third quarter of that home loss against Detroit last year. The pall cast over US Bank Stadium in a game the Vikings eventually would lose, honestly, is something I'll never forget. Sloter rolls out right. Vikes lead by 6, third quarter. Sloter runs, and he runs out of bounds. But Dalvin Cook, including in that Monday night game you see right there against New Orleans, Ben, I mean, he's catching it, he's running, he's picking up the blitz, he just does it all.
Well, he does it all, and I think that's the key ingredient to this offense. And I know a lot of people, including myself, will always say that the offense is run through the quarterback, but the quarterback can be helped out by having a good run game and good receivers, and that's exactly what the Vikings have. You've got a guy, a young running back in Dalvin Cook that's going to be a 3-down player. You can trust him to pick up blocks. He can catch the ball. He can make guys miss. He has the potential to be that home run hitter and really take that pressure off Kirk Cousins. So he doesn't have to go back to what he was doing in Washington, where he feels like I have to make a play every time because I can't trust my running backs and my receivers. So it's a full complement to the offense, and he's a key part of it.
And Latavius Murray has been fantastic this offseason. Latavius also had a good debut this evening for the 2018 preseason. 4 runs, 43 yards, and a long of 21. So Ben, I mean, that's a nice one too. You know, people always want to break it down. Who's going to get what percentage? Who's going to get it inside the 5? Just be happy you have a nice 1-2, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, I think any coach would be excited to have 2 players of this caliber and talent, and they bring a little something different, each of them. You know, Latavius is a bigger back. He's got that higher running style, but he runs with power. And I think, you know, we saw in this game, he's running with a little bit more vision, saw some of those holes, and slashed through the offensive line. So if he can make those full speed adjustments, which I think was a little bit of a problem last year at times, I think you've got one heck of a combination here.
Sloter just connected for 10 with college free agent Chad Beebe for a Vikings first down. Beebe currently a slot right. Caleb Jones in motion to the left. Handoff goes to Mac Brown. Mike Boone, Rock Thomas, Mac Brown battling, probably battling for the third running back spot on this roster. Old school football fans and former players like Ben Lieber, Greg Coleman, and Pete Bursich certainly remember Chad Beebe's dad.
Well,
his father, Don Beebe, was a heck of a player in the NFL.
He was. He played a long time. You know, Buffalo Bill. How can you forget him? Just a heck of a good football player.
His father, Don, played in 6 Super Bowls.
Jeez.
6 Super Bowls, including all 4 of those Bills losses.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's in the family. It's in the blood, and he's carrying on that tradition. That's for sure.
Mac Brown, right side, first down. Mac Brown, right side, first down. I was chatting with some members of the Vikings personnel staff at halftime, and we were chatting about 76 offensive lineman Avion Collins. You know, we said in the first half they're high on him, and you know, even despite the losing Easton for the season, Remmers gets rolled up on a couple of weeks ago. Mike will be back soon, and quite honestly, I think at right guard he's going to be very good this season. But they're not using Collins at guard just to be like, hey, get in there and play because we're stuck. I mean, they like Collins not only as a backup tackle, but with the potential to play some guard. And you know, there were a couple of plays that that these individuals referenced to me where Collins got out in space and was paving the way, and most importantly, in the plays that are in space, he was doing the right thing. He was in the right spot and really handling it with poise.
No, you're absolutely right, Paul. He's able to operate in space, and he's very physical up front. He's done a great job so far tonight.
Into the third quarter, Vikes lead by 6 on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota Vikings football rolls along from the Mile High City, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikes lead by 6 and have the ball. Time for the Miller Lite social media segment. You can interact with us via the broadcast using the hashtag VikingsTalk. Tonight, we are asking which newcomer are people most excited to watch. Before we get to that, Peter, outside of Mike Hughes, which one would it be for you?
Well, you talk about newcomers, you talk about new guys to the team. I think both Mike Boone and Rock Thomas look fantastic, and I think Mike Boone has an opportunity to cement that, get that number 3 running back position.
False start, number 84, offense, 5-yard penalty still, second down.
And those are the things that you don't necessarily pick up in practice, but when you get these games, the game situations with all the, you know, with the live and the tackling and having to do all those things that you don't get to finish in practice day to day, both those running backs I thought stood out, and I'm looking forward to seeing this battle unfold over the next 3 preseason games.
Rock Thomas, the undrafted kid from Jacksonville State, Sloter, deep drop, fires, good arm, nearly picked off, third down. Rock Thomas may only have run for 28 yards in the first half, but he did have a 78-yard receiving touchdown where that Jacksonville State burst was in play for a majority of the 78 yards. 102 receiving yards for Rock Thomas. And, you know, with off that getting social question, I mean, obviously, when it comes to getting excited for newcomers, it can be Kirk Cousins, it can be Sheldon Richardson, but this team, in structuring payment for college free agents the last few years, Sloter back to pass, screen left, incomplete, has done a really good job at finding undrafted guys and either outbidding teams or paying enough money to get them here. One of them is this guy, Holton Hill. You know, Holton Hill had some problems at the end of his run with the Texas Longhorns. You know, here's a tweet from SST Root. Interested to see how undrafted corner Holton Hill looks. But otherwise, Holton, it widely was thought, would be drafted in the middle of the draft.
Yeah.
That's a great get for the Minnesota Vikings.
No, you're absolutely right. And you're able to maneuver, get some money behind him, and then make sure that Holton Hill, as he gets here, he's in a situation where he has to walk a pretty tight line to keep himself on the field. So Holton Hill is a steal to get it as a free agent.
Vikings by 6, fourth quarter. It's Vikings football. Minnesota Vikings preseason football from Denver on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota leads by 7 in the fourth quarter of preseason game number 1. Here's the first part of the 2018 schedule provided by U.S. Bank. Peter.
Well, a lot of NFC in there. 49ers, we don't know what we're going to get, but we got to win that game at Green Bay, the Bills, and then we get the tough week at the Rams, and then back-to-back come back and play at Philadelphia. So we'll know what we're about after those 2 games.
Kelly with a touchdown pass zips it over the middle for a Broncos first down. Second half of the schedule courtesy of U.S. Bank. The Vikings are winless against the Detroit Lions at U.S. Bank Stadium. That needs to change.
That absolutely has to change. And I've said it last year, and I think it still holds true, is that the key to winning this division is beating the Lions twice. We have the Bears late. Well, depending on how their season goes, that may not be a big game for them, the Dolphins. So at New England is the big in the home game against Green Bay. Those are the 2 big games in that section of the schedule.
About 14 minutes to go in the first preseason game. Handoff to the speedy Lindsey around the left side. And he's taken out of bounds at the 37 by the aforementioned Holton Hill. Holton Hill was described all offseason after the Vikings secured his services via college free agency as a Zimmer-type cornerback. 6'2", 196, long, rangy, and fast.
Oh.
High snap to Kelly, retrieves it, zips it right, incomplete.
Well, Paul, I'll tell you what, if you're talking about cornerbacks for Zimmer and the ones that he likes speed. And he got that in Xavier Rhodes, ironically, with a big frame. Xavier Rhodes is a big-bodied corner. Holton Hill, I think, is the same way. But you look at Trey Waynes, you look at Mike Hughes, those guys have elite speed and quickness. And if Zim can teach them how to jam and play head up and just the feel for coverage and putting your body in the right positions and getting your footwork down, these guys become great defenders.
Kelly, caught. Gain of 6, first down, Denver Broncos.
Now this is Holton Hill one-on-one on the outside, and ball's thrown. You know what? Catch it once. They only pay you to catch it once. Catch it once. You don't want to see the guys doing that because it gives the corners an opportunity to get in there and break that thing up. But Holton Hill, really, it's just a good throw and catch as Hughes, I think, is done for the night. But Holton Hill, another good potential cornerback. This team's deep at that position, Paul.
Weatherly and Ade Aruna are the defensive ends. Kelly steps up in the pocket, whips it over the middle, and it's caught. And shaking a tackle into Vikings territory to the 40-yard line is Austin Traylor, 20 for the tight end. Ben Lieber, when stuff like this happens at this stage of the game with certain players, I mean, you got a bunch of 2s and 3s in there. How do you analyze it?
Well, I think you just want to watch how they bounce back. I mean, you guys were talking about Holton Hill, and he gives up a third down conversion, then he bounces back and misses a tackle with a guy in the open field, albeit he's a bigger body, but he still has to make those type of plays. So you want to see how guys respond to not only success, but also when they fail a little bit.
Chad Kelly, 6 of 7, 97 yards. Back to pass again. Whips it out left, incomplete. On the coverage for the Vikings, Craig James, undrafted from Southern Illinois. And the defensive ends here, Stephen Weatherly and Ade Aruna. The Vikings, Ben, drafted Ade Aruna in the 6th round. He's of Nigerian descent. He was a rookie at Tulane. He has some project to him. How do you, like Danielle Hunter had some project to him too, but it worked immediately. How do you analyze players like the right defensive end, 61, Ade Aruna?
Well, you're going to look at the speed in this hustle. And, if he doesn't have a lot of years under his belt, Paul, that means there's a lot of technique. So then you look for the raw talent, the quick get off. Can he get around the outside? And that's one thing that for sure Everson Griffen and Daniil Hunter possess, is the quickness and the speed to beat a tackle around the edge on the outside. And if you have a defensive end in front of you, Adearuna is, I think, kind of right there now where the tackle's not worried about him running around him. He can kind of set his feet and get his hands on him and slow him down. They're better off.
Chad Kelly, second year from Ole Miss, trying to win this game. 11:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Vikes lead 27-21. Kelly has been on fire. Takes it out of the shotgun, steps up, pumps, sees nothing, pumps again, runs 30, 25, 20, slides at the 18-yard line, Chad Kelly. So Chad Kelly, 17-yard run. I guess he's the 2018 version of Kyle Sloter, because this fan base fell in love with Kyle Sloter last year, was crestfallen when he left. Not that Kelly's going to leave or anything, but this is the loudest we've heard this stadium for the Broncos. They're chanting Kelly right now.
They're getting excited for him, no question about it. Kentrell brothers coming up in the blitz up in the middle. Somebody has to win the one-on-one battle up front, Paul. Right now our defensive linemen are not winning their one-on-one battles up front.
Bell time to pick off Chad Kelly. Three-step drop, fires, ball batted in the air, incomplete. To slow the Kelly train. So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line.
Coverage, Paul, with this group has been pretty good. It's just Kelly's had a lot of time.
Jalen Holmes with that pass breakup, rookie from Ohio State.
Yeah, 4th-round draft pick. You know, there's a talent right there. Jalen Holmes, another guy you would hope that could build on that frame with that long frame and become a good interior pass rusher.
Okay, he's the defensive tackle at this stage for the Vikings. Chad Kelly out of the shotgun. Players to his left and right, and this time they'll run it. It is Williams, David Williams, with a loss of 1. On the tackle, Rashard Clyett. Now, if the Minnesota Vikings keep 6 linebackers, you know, you have Kendricks, Barr, Gideon, and Eric Wilson, in my opinion. You got a bunch battling for 2. I think this guy, Rashard Clyett, very sneaky to win one of those 2 spots. Second year from South Florida. He has some NFL experience. He did sustain an injury a couple of years ago. From what I understand, very tough guy, very good training camp.
Well, I think that there's a really good competition with him and Kentrell brothers, guys like Eric Wilson. So for Clyett, he's definitely, special teams is a big thing, but this right here, to be able to,
that's nice,
to read a play and come back underneath when Kentrell brothers was, Eric Wilson was breathing. These guys are playing special teams and they have to go out and play a 2-minute style of defense.
Yeah,
they're dying out there. So Kentrell comes in, he gets his opportunity, makes a big play. So nice job of him stepping in. And Paul, you're right. Those backup linebacker positions are up for grabs.
That's why the preseason is a land of opportunity. 3rd down for the Broncos, trailing by 6. Kelly over the middle to Lindsey, 5, touchdown, flag on the play.
Helmet to helmet.
This will go against the Vikings, and the Broncos are an extra point from taking the lead. Kelly, Lindsey, welcome to the preseason.
Well, Chad Kelly's definitely fired up, and he held on to that football just long enough and took a big hit to get it outside in space. And Jack Tocho just breaking coverage a little bit too soon, letting the receiver get inside of him. So one-on-one, and
Stephen Weatherly.
Yeah, Stephen Weatherly just, they're going to protect the quarterback, Paul. I mean, that's
helmet to helmet. Yeah. That's a penalty 100 out of 100 times.
Might get in your pocketbook too.
Extra point. Broncos lead for the first time tonight. 10 minutes to go in the game. 28-27 home team on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Denver leads by 1. Ben Lieber sidelines. Everson Griffen.
All right, thanks a lot, PA. Hey, we're up. Clean your teeth. Everson Griffen. Listen, let's go back to last year real quick. You were on a tear. I mean, you were on pace to possibly break the sack record, and then you got hampered by the foot injury. How much did that really affect you through the course of the season?
Playing with a torn plantar is really painful. Every step I took, it hurt. But you know what? I'm a survivor, and I'm gonna fight for my team, and that's what I did. I survived for the last part of the season.
You battled through, and I think for a lot of people, they didn't realize that was the injury. And if anybody understands what the plantar fasciitis is under your foot, you completely tore that. So you didn't have the ability to really push off your feet, did you?
No, I didn't have the ability to do nothing. The only thing I was just hoping that the guys around me would help me, and they helped big time.
So what are your first impressions of this preseason? The defense, both the ones and the twos and even the threes, have put on quite the show. How did you guys feel out there on just the 3 plays that you guys got?
I felt good. We wanted more reps. We wanted another series. We finally get to hit somebody else. We're in camp mode, so we want to hit somebody else. And I think we did good. I think that we got to keep on pushing in the fourth quarter to get better. No matter what group is in there. But I think we did good overall.
You guys already have one of the best defenses in the league, #1 in points last year, points given up. You guys add Sheldon Richardson to 3 technique. What's he brought to the table for your defense?
Having a dominant 3 technique in this league is very huge. They can get to the quarterback fast, and they can play the double teams. Him and Linval in the middle, those two, it's like 2 big anchors, and it's going to be hard to run on us.
So you got a contract extension last year. Kendricks gets one this year, and then your boy across the line gets one to Danielle Hunter. What have you seen out of him that is just so impressive in his development?
The biggest thing, coming in young, he's like still young. He's only going to be 24. He was coachable, and he listened, and whatever coach told him to do on the field, when we're in the classroom, he did it. He went out there and executed the assignment, and that's why his growth is going to be tremendous.
Last one, we'll talk about the Vikings offense. They were just as impressive tonight with Kirk Cousins and John DeFilippo calling the plays. You guys have battled against them all offseason, all the way through training camp. What's your impressions of their offense and the new look offense for the Vikings?
They're looking good. He's bringing a good system. And I feel like it's a routine now. I never seen wide receivers come out here and warm up, so they warming up, throwing routes before the game. I didn't see that in the past, so I just think that just having a routine and set, but Flip and those guys, they're doing a great job calling the ball. We're happy to have them, and we look to win a lot of games with them.
All right, man, looking forward to having another big year out of you and staying healthy, bud.
Thank you.
All right, Ben. Thanks, Ben. There was a long pass interference during the most recent drive. The Vikings are threatening with 8:50 to go in preseason game #1 from Broncos Stadium at Mile High. And atop your screen is Jake Wieneke of Maple Grove, Minnesota, by way of South Dakota State University. There's a handoff to Mac Brown on 2nd down. Brown on 2nd down goes grinding for a few, so it'll be 3rd and short. Wieneke at South Dakota State University. And the Missouri Valley Football Conference is a career record holder in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Set a FCS record with a reception in 53 consecutive games, every game of his career, while he topped 100 receiving yards 25 times. So this Jake Wieneke, he doesn't drop much, and it's good to see him get the opportunity and fulfill his dreams, even if it's only a preseason game, playing in the 4th quarter here at Broncos Stadium at Mile High, Peter.
Well, absolutely, and it's a consistency. And you have guys that can put up those numbers at that rate, but to do it consistently, especially the touchdown receptions, that's pretty remarkable. That's a receiver, because defenses are looking out for you. They're looking out for Wieneke. They're looking out. They're double teaming him in different situations, but yet he still found ways to get open. And Beebe finding a way to get open on that last play. And I think Slaughter has made a couple really nice decisions in this drive, Paul, with throws as far as coming against the blitz and doing some other different things. Looks good.
Rookie Conklin in motion, 1st down, handoff Brown with some juice near side, 15 to the 10. Mac Brown stopped at the 9, burst of 7 yards, making it 2nd and 3 for the Vikings. They can get a 1st down just inside the 6-yard line. 7 minutes to go in the first preseason game. We host Jacksonville Saturday on KFAN Radio, the Vikings Radio Network, and Fox 9. After that, 6 days later, the Seattle Seahawks are in town, and the Vikings preseason closes on a Thursday from Nashville against the Titans. Broncos by 1, 2nd and 3 from the Denver 9. Slaughter under center, back to Brown. Shakes a tackle at the 11, dives ahead to the line of scrimmage, no gain. Also in the game now for the Vikings of interest, 85, Jeff Badette, one of the faster players on the team. If you talk to Jeff, undrafted from Oklahoma, the fastest guy on the team, wears number 85. And, you know, with his speed, in watching him in practice, it's good to see that he's not just straight line, Torrey Smith, Mike Wallace kind of guy. You know, he uses that shiftiness on underneath routes.
Yeah, you're going to have to, because speed, it's not outright speed that gets you open. It's being smart. And Broncos are showing all-out blitz. I mean, they're showing like they're coming after the quarterback, and Slaughter obviously takes the timeout with the clock running down.
No, the Broncos took the timeout.
Broncos took that timeout.
Yeah, former Vikings defensive backs coach Joe Woods is the defensive coordinator for the Broncos. Former Vikings offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave is the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. Former Broncos offensive line coach Clancy Barone is the co-offensive line coach for the Minnesota Vikings. It shows you how this wacky coaching world works, right?
It does. It's all about trust, and it's a very tight group. And that's why you see guys, once they make it, they stick around. I mean, look at Todd Downing in the last 2 years that he's had. He's been up and down and all over the place, but he lands back on his feet. Now he's working with the tight ends here in Minnesota. So that's one thing about, you talk about it playing, even as a coach, you say that, you have to believe it yourself and say, you know what, you never give up. You got to keep chasing the dream.
Chad Beebe, slot left, opposite C.J. Smith of North Dakota State University, a Burnsville native. Slaughter takes a high snap, blitzes on. It's a fade left to Beebe, caught, touchdown, Vikings lead. And Slaughter comes back to Denver and throws a touchdown.
Now the Slaughter to Beebe connection is there, Paul. And Beebe's done a wonderful job as the Vikings get into this red zone. When the Broncos start challenging and get one-on-one coverages, Beebe's he's a shifty wide receiver, boy. He gets out in that slot, he makes a move, and he creates that space.
Beat the Burnsville kid.
Well, and the nice job by the offense, and with Slaughter saying, hey, we saw what was coming. We knew they were going to blitz us. They talked about the protection. They got in the huddle. Protection worked out beautifully, and Beebe found himself open in the corner of the end zone. So, great execution. I think
Vikings up by 5.
So I think the Vikings are going to go for 2 here in this situation to give themselves the 7-point lead. It's all part of the preseason. You know, you got the coaches and the sideline and the numbers, and you know when to go for 2, when not to go for 2. This is preseason for them too.
2 receivers left and right. Vikes up by 5. 6:01 to go in the game. Brian O'Neill, 2nd round from Pitt in 2018, right tackle. Slaughter looks left, passes, caught for the 2. Caught for the 2. It's Jeff Badette. Beebe and Badette, and the Broncos trail by 7. From Denver, it's the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota Vikings football, Denver Vikings Entertainment Network. Kyle Slaughter with a touchdown pass to Chad Beebe. Then for the 2 to Jeff Badette, 7 plays, 75 yards. In the land of opportunity, Peter, who says preseason games don't matter? Look at this reaction.
Oh, they really do. And I think for Slaughter, that he loved that play because they knew they had an idea of what the Broncos were going to do. They blocked it up. He called the route. He found the open man, and that feels great when you're able to take a defense that's trying to blitz and all-out blitz you and put points on the board against it.
Here's Lindsey coming out of the end zone 8 yards deep. And Lindsey gets to the 27-yard line. You know, you see that Kyle Slaughter reaction. We got tens of thousands of people here. It's far from packed, but I mean, Denver's such a good football town. Here we are, spine tingler, 35-28 first preseason game. Place is probably 75-80% full right now. But Slaughter, being a former Bronco, you know, and chatting with him a little bit of practice during the week, you just quietly knew how important this was for him to come back and put on a good show. And, you know, the Broncos take the lead for the first time during the evening. His former teammate, Chad Kelly, flag on the play is having his name chanted. I mean, they go all in on Keenum.
Holding. Number 83 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Yeah, you have like 30,000 here going Kelly. And Sloter was usurped by Kelly last year. Tried to get him on the practice squad, ends up with the Vikings. That just all of that leads to why Kyle Sloter was so fired up.
A lot of layers to that one, Paul. And I think Sloter, above and beyond just all that, the circumstances and the things in the Kelly and the drive that he made, and having to have a comeback drive, the decisions that he made against pressures and the different pressures from Denver, great decisions that he made. A couple throws to Beebe. I mean, just a great job in the face of all that. So he's got to be proud. Oh, here we go.
Interception. Kelly fired right, and it was intercepted by Jack Toto. Kelly right between the old 3 and the 9. And the Vikings have turned over the Denver Broncos, much to the happiness of Eric Kendricks in the defense, and here it is.
Well, just a late shift by the defense. You keep after the quarterback. Kelly still trying to buy some time. Lasted as long as he could, and he really forced that throw in there. A great job by Tocho being right underneath and undercutting the route and intercepting it. So, the defense rallies when they need to. The offense had rallied when they need to. Now, this is 5:23 left to go in a 7-point lead. This is where you see with those offensive linemen up front, if you could run the football, because both sides know that this ball is going to stay on the ground. So we'll see who can win up front. And Denver is going to do the best they can to get one more possession, being down by 7.
Yep.
So this is the old 5-minute drill for the offense. This is going to be on the ground, move the chains, full back in the game, 2 backs in the game. This is old school football.
Sloter under center, offset eye left. Behind Kyle with the Vikings leading. Mac Brown, GFL. GFL by Lions. Loss of about 4. Now, one of the major topics this evening is that Daniel Carlson, that rookie 5th rounder from Auburn, Kai Forbath did all the kickoffs. Carlson did all of the point gathering kicking, 3 of 3 on PATs, and hit a field goal, granted with the wind at his back, but he hit a field goal of 57 yards. So I mean, you're here up 35-28. If Mac Brown, by the way, being 10-2 by Vikings personnel now. So now you're at the 34, so you're looking at 51, granted into a little bit of a wind. 51 yards for Daniel Carlson. He could probably do that with his left foot.
Well, if he's able to do that, 51 yards, what we saw earlier, you have to love it. You have to say just get a little bit of air underneath it. Yeah, I don't think you have any problem with sending him on the field here.
Ben Lieber, Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, Xavier was the biggest cheerleader on that Jack Tocho interception. Jack gets off the field, and you're the first guy to greet him with the big bear hug. How is it to see these young guys making plays?
Hey, man, it's beautiful, man. To just see here and just watching work, doing practice, all the hard work, and, just see that come out here on the field, man. It's just a beautiful thing. And you see the older guys like Harry and Dale teach these guys what to look out for and stuff like that, and they just see it come to life. It's just beautiful.
Well, you've taken a little mentoring role as yourself with Holton Hill, taking him under your wing. You guys are pictured a lot together on social media. How's that process been going, getting him through the professional ropes?
It's been going great. I just tell him, man, confidence is key in this game, and especially at corner. Confidence is key always. That's the number one thing about being a corner. Just always have confidence. No matter what the result at the end of the play, always have confidence. And number one thing is technique. I tell them technique is major, because when it's down in the 4th quarter, 2 minutes, a minute left, that's what you're going to depend on.
Another guy that I want to get your impressions of is Mike Hughes, the 1st-round draft pick. Seems a lot of praise from Coach Zimmer all throughout the offseason and training camp. What's your thoughts on Mike Hughes?
Mike come out his break nice. I mean, his eyes are right. He ain't looking back at the quarterback. He breaking on the ball, getting picks, knocking balls down. Man, to me, honestly, he look like he's been in the league before. And I think, years down the road, he's going to be one of the best in the league.
That's a lot to say, especially on a defense that returns 10 starters. You guys added Sheldon Richardson as a 3 technique, but basically everybody's back on the #1 defense in the league. Where can you guys still get better?
I mean, it was still some errors in our defense last year. We still made some mistakes in our defense. There's always room for improvement. So that's what we're looking forward to, improving our defense. And continuously get off on third downs, get more turnovers, and, you know, just play ID, play aggressive, play Viking defense.
You know, last one for me is this team has signed a lot of young guys, a lot of extensions even this offseason. What's that say about this organization that they're willing to lock these guys up?
It says that, you know, they believe and trust in us. I mean, you see it last year. I mean, we gave our heart and soul to everything to these coaches. We believe in the coach, and the coach believed in us by doing that. So we're grateful at the end of the day that they believe in us and can allow us to keep doing what we're doing.
All right, man. Continued success.
Thank you.
And continued success for Mike Boone, the rookie undrafted running back from Cincinnati. On third down, just ran the Vikings to a clock-churning first down. 4 minutes to go in the game. Vikes lead 35-28. Kyle Sloter at the helm. Boone. 3. Xavier Rhodes, definitely one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Peter.
Oh, no question about it. And I remember when we drafted him, they wanted him or thought of him as a cover 2 roll-up, jam and sink kind of a corner. And since then, he's dedicated to himself to technique. He's dedicated himself to working hard and coming in and staying on the field and staying healthy has been a huge part of his ascension. But a very, very smart player, Paul, and his size and length help him so much at the point of attack. And then ultimately his tenacity. The guy never gives up. He has a motor like no other. He just keeps after guys and never ever gives in. That's what he was talking about during the interview, saying, hey,
yeah,
you know, you have to be that way. You cannot give in. You got to be tenacious. You can never give up. You got to have that confidence. I mean, you know, corners are a lot like pitchers. They're just kind of calm and cool, and they keep that confidence despite anything that happened around them.
Boone spins, shakes a tackle, grinds, down, gain of 5. Terrence Newman is going to be 40 years of age September 4th. He's heading into his 16th year from Kansas State. So no Terrence Newman tonight. You had Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander, Mike Hughes, Holton Hill, rest of the guys. Eventually, I would imagine they will dust off the 16-year veteran, a player with whom Ben Lieber actually played at Kansas State. You know, when Terrence, with that track speed, came into the NFL as a high pick in the first round, came in with the Dallas Cowboys, was with Zimmer in Dallas, Zimmer in Cincinnati, and Zimmer in Minnesota. I mean, seriously, how deep is this secondary?
It's unbelievable. And Terrence Newman last year made his biggest impact on this team was in the red zone. As we see Sloter on the keeper.
Sloter, look at
Cut
you.
Back and look at him stay in bounds.
Look
what a
at
smart
that
play.
boot. Get in there. Touchdown.
Give it to him.
Kyle Sloter
There we go.
with the boot. And with said boot, he just he kicked you-know-what of somebody's defense. 41-28 Vikings.
Well, Paul, if we're going through anything and we're looking at this DeFilippo offense, what have we seen today? We've seen a lot of naked bootlegs. We've seen a lot of zone and outside runs that have a bootleg or a naked bootleg action off of it. So defenses can't necessarily get comfortable in just chasing left and chasing right. The misdirection has been there. And Sloter doing a wonderful job getting out. And he saw it. Once he saw it, he pulled that thing down and stayed in bounds. That was the smart thing about the 5-minute drill, Paul. You stay in bounds and keep the clock going. He did that and then got into the end zone. So great job.
There is Josh Andrews, formerly of the Eagles practice squad, imploring Vikings fans in Denver to do the skull chant. Carlson's kick is good, but we have a flag. By the way, that is a former member of the Eagles, Josh Andrews, who joined the Vikings shortly after John DeFilippo became the offensive coordinator. What an eerie twist of fate that is.
That's
a guy who was an Eagle within the last 8 months doing the skull chant.
That's the guy on the Charles Haley plan. He's trying to win 2 rings in 2 years and 2 different teams.
He's chatting with Clancy Barone. We talked about him earlier. Co-offensive line coach with Andrew Janoko. There's Clancy chatting with Quinn and Lang. Clancy Barone won Super Bowl 50 with the Denver Broncos as offensive line coach. He was also offensive line coach with the Atlanta Falcons. Came to Minnesota as the tight ends coach. Tony Sparano, you know, the news with Tony Sparano within the last month was awful. And then the Vikings head to training camp. And, you know, obviously making sure friends and family members of Sperano and the Sperano family are all squared away and taken care of. You know, that was first and foremost, and grieving with teammates and coaches and the family first and foremost. but then the professional life has to go on. So they, you know, after speculation and trying to determine what they were going to do, they opted to make Barone and Janocko the assistant to Tony last year, co-offensive line coaches. And, you know, we spent some time last evening in Denver proper with St. Paul's Ryan Harris, who went to Cretin-Derham Hall, and he's going to be the radio analyst for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and he has a very popular radio show here for Altitude Sports in the city of Denver. He was on Barone's line when the Broncos won Super Bowl 50, so he just had a lot of glowing things to say about our new co-offensive line coach.
He did, and Clancy Barone for sure, Paul, is if you could coach an offensive line and do it through the Super Bowl, that's a huge, I mean, that's a huge, unless the offensive coordinator himself is an old offensive line coach, that's a huge responsibility, and that's a huge, really, you know, pat on the back and a ringing endorsement to have a guy that could take an offense and an offensive line all the way through a season, get them to the Super Bowl and win. And then you bring Todd Downing in, who's had experience as a coordinator. He moves over to tight end, so it was a pretty natural, it is less, I guess, of a crazy change with the passing of Tony Sperano. I mean, you kept as consistent as possible. You didn't bring any new faces in.
Yeah.
I think that really helps, because at times like that, when you lose someone close, when you lose a player, you lose a coach, everyone wants to come together. And you don't want to be that outsider coming into a game or into a team right after something like that happens.
Oh, Kelly is smacked. Chad Kelly is sacked by Wynn. It is a win for Wynn. Jonathan Wynn, undrafted from Vanderbilt, played for the Commodores with Stephen Weatherly, one of the defensive linemen for the Vikings. 2.5 minutes to go in the first preseason game. Vikings lead 42-28. Kelly passes right, caught 44-yard line. Shy of the first down following the sack.
A nice tackle by Trayvon Mathis on that one.
Yeah.
You get the slant. I mean, this is what's great to see, these young guys, even the backups, the third stringers, you know, they break up on the slant, they get the head across the ball and drive the guy to the turf. I mean, just a great job fundamentally, Kelly, by the defensive back end.
Pedal to the metal. Flags. Minute 50 to go in the first half, so that's the 2-minute warning pending penalty.
It's going to go against the Broncos.
That's Brett Taylor on the screen now. Undrafted linebacker from Western Illinois. Played collegiately against Jake Winicky at South Dakota State University. Pete Morelli, Mike Zimmer.
Trying to find out if it's from the spot of the foul.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to move back, and it still was
holding.
That thing was at a first down.
38 offense, 10-yard penalty.
Come on, Peter.
85.
Thank you.
Correction.
We have consternation late on a Denver evening. Hey, you can't have a preseason game without celebrating Robert Frederick Hagan in his 28th year with the Minnesota Vikings as media relations mogul. There's general manager Rick Spielman, the money man, one of the executive vice presidents in the purple shirt, Rob Brzezinski. I mean, Rob Brzezinski finding all of this change between the couch cushions for all these players. I mean, what masterful work by said trio. Robert Frederick Hagan of Wyzetta. Don't leave home without him. It's the Vikings Entertainment Network. Kirk Cousins, Trevor Siemian, the Vikings and the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota leads 42-28. Denver has the ball with 1:50 to go, led by Chad Kelly. Kirk Cousins did not throw an incompletion this evening. He had a couple of wonderful passes to Stephon Diggs, including one for a touchdown. Kelly passes, caught. And Denver achieves a first down. Big hit delivered by Trayvon Mathis, that rookie corner from Toledo, probably so big, might cost the Vikings 15.
They're talking it over. They're definitely.
There's no foul on the play.
Well, that makes Mike Zimmer happy because, granted, we're looking at a minute and a half to go in a game the Vikings are going to win, but he saw the hit clearly and absolutely felt it was a textbook hit. You know, both by Mathis and the other Viking involved. Came out about 5 yards from the field, kind of like paraphrasing, "You're kidding me, right?" And they picked it up. Kelly. Oh! Incomplete. We nearly had a pick six by Trayvon Mathis, trying to splash and get 60 the good way.
Well, Trayvon Mathis, Paul, he's done a wonderful job. Granted, this is the threes, maybe some of the fours out there, but squeezing down on the slants, keeping his head up the field. Now he's, jumping routes and almost taking pick six to the house. So he's taken advantage of every opportunity he's been provided tonight. He's done a very good job.
Here it is. The preseason's on the line. Two receivers left and right. Kelly takes the snap. He steps up, rolls out to the right. Under duress. Wynn nearly had him. Aruna forces him out of bounds. Too far out of bounds. The rookie from Tulane will cost the Vikings some yardage. And a first down for the Denver Broncos. Ade Aruna.
61 offense. 15-yard penalty automatic, first down.
Well, Paul, Denver runs the same switch route or scissors route, if you want to call it. They scored a touchdown on earlier, and the coverage on the front side was fabulous. You know, guys, I understand when you're running that far, that's just way out of bounds.
Jeez.
So that
Xavier tried to catch the flag.
Yeah, discretion is a better part of valor there, and he chased him. He chased him to the mat, to the tarp that's on the sideline before he put a finger on him. So
Xavier thought he was a shortstop for the Rockies trying to catch the flag. Throw it to the back judge for a double play. Two receivers left, one right. Kelly shotgun. Vikes lead 42-28. A minute to go. Kelly passes, caught, and to the 9-yard line for the Denver Broncos is John Darce, a rookie receiver from Texas Christian University. It is Darce, that is. Two receivers left and right. Kelly passes left. That one is caught by Craycraft. Stopped post haste. Brett Taylor, one of two Vikings, along with Craig James.
Nice job keeping him in bounds.
Broncos have no timeouts left. Vikings have a 14-point lead. Chad Kelly to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Nearly caught by Darce, covered by undrafted Holton Hill, 37. Peter.
And there's been some more directives as far as what's a catch and maintaining the ball throughout. That was definitely not a catch. His only 1 foot was in bounds. A nice job, staying with it. So Holton Hill get an opportunity to make some plays and gets out there in space and does it. So I think the Broncos are taking a timeout.
They don't have any, unless the scoreboard is wrong. But there definitely is a timeout on the field with 17 seconds to go. Not exactly sure what led to that. We have a touchdown-related review. We are being told by our road statistician, Wasika's Mike Wapshall of Vikings.com.
Well, I don't know if anyone threw a flag, but it definitely did not look. He loses possession of the ball.
That can't be a touchdown review.
That's not even close. Unless
ridiculous.
Unless they feel that he caught the ball, had two hands down.
All of Wasika is ashamed right now.
Well, Denver's getting the benefit of this because now they have a chance to at least put together one more play, maybe two with 17 seconds left to go. But
it's confirmed. Incomplete pass.
Correct.
Yeah, that was. The catch rule, it's much maligned. It's talked about. They've tried to clear it a little further or offer some clarification to the ruling going into this fall. But that almost catch required neither. That was nothing even close. So Denver's going to get one more opportunity, maybe two here, to get the ball in the end zone.
Vikings have 406 yards of offense. Denver has 291. And from the 9, 3rd and goal, Kelly. And a quick little cross. Wide receiver grinds down to the 2-yard line. and does not get into the end zone. That is Mark Chapman, rookie from Central Michigan. Kelly under center, clock runs. Final play of the game, Kelly rolls, who cares, throws, incomplete. Vikings win 42-28. The offensive juggernaut known as Minnesota Vikings preseason football not only runs up 42 points, 406 yards of offense. Give me your best 30 seconds of final thoughts.
Well, first off, the Cousins to Diggs connection was fantastic. You saw some strength in that arm of Cousins that we hadn't seen last year out of Case Keenum. That rapport is there. He has the confidence, as we heard later in the interview with Ben Lieber. He has that confidence with Stephon Diggs. So I loved what I saw in the arm strength and the accuracy of one Kirk Cousins. I was also very impressed with the running game that the Vikings put up today, especially through the inside, because he had 3 young guys inside there, but a very, very good job on the running game as well.
And rookie kicker Daniel Carlson, 2 for 2 on field goals, including a 57-yarder, longest of his pro or collegiate career. Carlson was also 4 of 4 on extra points. Diggs, 3 catches, 35 yards and a touchdown. Rock Thomas, the undrafted running back from Jacksonville State, buck 31 and 2 TDs, including a 78-yard touchdown reception from Trevor Siemian. The first defense was fantastic, even without Linval Joseph, and we can't wait to see what is next. What is next? The Jacksonville Jaguars at US Bank Stadium. That is a noon kickoff on Fox 9 next Saturday. For Ben Lieber, Greg Coleman, and Pete Bursich, I'm Paul Allen. Vikings beat Denver by 14. You saw it on the Vikings Entertainment Network.